Good evening, everyone. This is a friendly reminder if you wish to speak at public forum, there's a sign-in sheet at the table. If you wish to address a commission during public forum, there's a sign-in sheet at the table. Make sure you're signed in. You have up until 6:05 to sign in.
Can you speak into the microphone?
All right, good evening again. Just before we get started, I just want to remind everyone that if you wish to address the commission, you'll have the opportunity to do so in public forum where you'll be given 3 minutes to do so. And then we will afford the opportunity to speak on the items that are on the agenda at the time we address it on the agenda. Okay? At this time, we're going to go ahead and move forward with roll call. I would like to welcome you guys to our regular scheduled meeting.
We have Vice Mayor Shell here virtually. Commissioner.
Present.
Okay. Commissioner McCutcheon.
Present.
Mayor Berrien.
Present.
Commissioner Williams.
Here.
Commissioner Watts.
Here.
At this time, we're going to ask that you all stand as we be led in invocation by Commissioner McCutcheon. Immediately following the invocation, we'll have Pledge of Allegiance.
All right, let us pray. Father God, we come before you with grateful hearts for an opportunity to serve the constituents of our community. We thank you, Lord God, in advance for the business that has been set aside to be addressed tonight. And we believe, God, that all things that shall be said and done in this place will be done so in decency, in order. And we believe, oh Father God, for positive outcomes on the issues that will be discussed here this evening. We give you glory, honor, and praise for all things. In your name, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we will move on to item D, any additions and or deletions.
No, sir.
She said it's in the book, but I don't know. I don't see
Okay. Okay. Yes, we do have an add-on, Mr. Mayor. It's the Boys and Girls Club contract.
So I will entertain a motion to add that to the agenda.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, I move to add the Boys and Girls contract to item H7 on the agenda.
We have a motion. We have a second.
A second.
So we have a motion and a proper second to add the agenda, add that item to the agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign. None, motion carries. We will add that to the agenda to be discussed tonight. Moving on to item F, proclamations, presentations, and awards and reports. Item F01, we have retail. I'm sorry, got ahead of myself. Backing up to item E, public forum. Each person addressing the commission shall sign in with the city clerk no later than 6:05 p.m. It is 6:06. Person shall step up to the microphone and shall give his or her name and address in an audible tone of voice for the record, and unless further time is granted by the commission, shall limit their address to the 3 minutes. All remarks shall address the commission as a body and not to any member thereof. No person other than the members of the commission having the floor shall be permitted to enter into discussion either directly or through the members of the commission. And who do we have signed up?
First, we have Scott Lynch. Okay.
Okay.
Tula Ganopoulos.
Good evening.
Good
I
evening.
am Tula Janopoulos, Vice President for Project Graduation for 2026. And I'm here to ask the Commission for a donation for the class of 2026.
All right. What is the will of the commission?
Well, first of all, I don't know. I don't recall. I'm not saying I don't know. Will somebody remind me what we discussed, I think a couple meetings ago in regards to this issue? Are we going to move forward this fiscal year with what, having two separate pots, or did we combine the giving? Because I know when the budget came about, we did some allocating to some organizations, but I do not recall if those funds were combined because of the constraints of the budget.
Well, Commissioner, you're right. We didn't set a formal policy.
Okay.
But what we did do, we did allocate certain funding to certain organizations. And so the policy was not created yet. There was some discussion about it, and that's something that you do need to set. But you have the flexibility to do what you want, and if we can hear more, because I didn't hear a dollar amount
Right.
or anything like that.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I would say, not that we're not willing, but I think the commission would need to gather some facts, some information in regards to funding, and then too, do you all have a specified amount that you're seeking?
$500.
Okay, thank you.
I know that years back, it was in the budget, money for Project Graduation and for the ball field and for other stuff.
Okay, yeah, I don't recall that since I've been here. I do know previously we did set aside for other community organizations such as this. We did previously have a specified amount, but even that recently has been up for discussion, considering we are such a tight budget year. So I'm going to defer to say, I can't speak for any other commissioner, get with staff to find out if first there are funds available, and how, and if we're able to assist not only project graduations, but others who may come behind you if there are funds available. Okay, that's my response.
So somebody's going to let us know.
I should know. We have a special call meeting on the 28th. Hopefully I can get some information from staff prior to that. If not, we'll definitely school. Well, you'll know before Christmas break. That's giving me
Yes.
a long leash. You'll know before Christmas break.
Yes, and I'm in favor of the 500.
Thank
I'm
you.
in favor of the 500 this time.
But I do want to, I had
That's
planned
not
on
what I was
addressing.
saying.
No.
After the
We're
facts
not-
were gathered.
Yes, we're not. Yeah, I want to make it clear. I'm expressing to these people that I'm in favor of the gift. That's it. But I had a discussion because I feel that in developing this policy, we should have a workshop around it. I had planned on saying that later on, but since it came up early, let's get a workshop around it so that we're all here and we could make informed decisions together versus in our own little spaces and come together and have to do it in a limited time constraint. Okay?
Okay.
So, but we're in favor of that.
So we'll be in contact.
Yes.
All
A
right,
question
thank
before you leave.
Yes, sir.
Just in case there are individuals in here who want to contribute, is through what form or is there a way that they can contribute to Project Graduation?
Anybody could donate any amount they want to donate. I mean, we have fundraisers. It's not like we go out and ask people for money.
Okay.
We're
We
doing
have-
a lotto board now, so we're doing a lotto raffle now.
Okay.
So we're selling raffle tickets for the lotto board.
Okay.
We will be at November the 15th event also downtown Museum.
Okay.
So you will see us around in the community with booths and things like that, collecting for the seniors this year for the night of Project Graduation.
Great. And if someone wants to purchase a raffle ticket for the lotto,
They can reach out to
Yes.
Tula at John's.
Okay.
They can contact the school because Mr. Dent, he is on assistant principal down there. He also, his child's involved. So you can always contact the school, Tula,
Okay.
myself. My name is Aaron Cooley. You can always reach out. Samuel and me have worked together before. So definitely any forms. John's, high school, and we have Project Graduation Class of 2026 on Facebook.
Great.
Who did they make the check out to?
Project Graduation.
All right.
Or Fort Meade Project Graduation.
All right. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
thank you.
Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
And Natalie Finley.
I'm staying outside. I didn't get a chance to sign before
Yeah.
6:05. There was no seats, so.
Okay.
He did come in.
I picked it up at 6.
Okay. We'll get to you. Give me a second. Go ahead, Nan.
Good evening, commissioners. We just want to say thank you on behalf of the 175th Gala to have the support of the city. Speaking of budget, we want to be 100% transparent with the public and with the commission. $15,000 had been budgeted in this 2025-2026 budget, and only $7,500 was contributed. So you have $7,500 that could be reallocated if you wanted to make a motion to make an amendment to the budget. You got a $7,500 that could go somewhere else. Secondly, our finale event on behalf of the Historical Society of Fort Meade to celebrate the 175th anniversary is coming up on November 15th. Meet me at Museum Park. I know Miss Ashley Deshawn already presented to y'all, but I just wanted to share some more events. We didn't want to compete with the gala with our marketing, so the full marketing campaign will begin on Friday, so I hope you guys will follow the event. We've been putting teasers out to the public. We have Daniel Butler. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's a Florida landscape wildlife artist who will be there on site, painting a picture on site live. They're going to have an old-fashioned barn dance. The kids are going to come to an art show. Just like you heard Renee, the local organizations have been invited to come and set up as vendors, and they will be coming free of charge. There also will be food vendors and things like that. So I've got packets to hand out to you guys, and that's it.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie.
Okay.
Next person.
Stephen McKenzie.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm not sure if I'm in order here. I was basically want to refer to the lanes and variances. Have you already did that meeting on that tonight earlier or something?
No,
No.
Planning and
question
zoning has
was-
not met.
I have two properties that had liens on them.
1 second.
It's on the agenda.
It's on the agenda.
It's on the agenda.
Discuss it at that time.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
so
You
my
can-
question
you can say
was,
it's now, or you can wait until we address
oh,
it.
yes, okay.
All
So
right.
he would come back up, I'm sorry, he would come back up once we get ready, and it was an addition that was H07. So when you
Yes.
hear that one call, you don't need to sign in for that one.
Okay,
So the mayor will direct people to come up and talk about it.
03.
That's a lien, that's a different one. But it is an agenda item, so he'd come back up.
So just for clarification purposes, the public forum, you would sign in prior to 6:05 PM and you would be able to speak about anything that's not on the agenda. If an item is on the agenda, the mayor will open the floor for public to come up and then comment during that time for each item. So regardless of where it's set on the agenda, the public will get a chance to hear it before the commission votes on it.
And for clarity, Mr. McKenzie, what is the item that you wanted to speak concerning?
I think the
Thank you.
liens, it's the
Okay.
liens.
Thank you. Next person.
I'm gonna try to say the last name, Jeff Gay,
Spell it.
If you know.
Oh, okay. That was
okay,
an error.
okay. Bernice Bradley,
He said the next two names can be skipped.
oh, okay, I'm sorry, that's it.
And the gentleman that came in, would you come up to the podium and say your name and address for the record?
Yes, it's Eric Greenhow, and I also plan to speak about the liens,
Okay.
so I can wait for
Okay.
that. I was outside, I didn't know, I didn't need to
understand.
sign before 6:05. Thank you very much.
All right. So if no further individual expressed this to want to speak, we will move on and close. There we go. We will close public forum and move on to item F, F1 Retail Strategies Presentation.
Yeah, let me get, I'm sorry, come on up. You guys come on up. We were gonna have, one of the staff members introduce them. This is Retail Strategies. Obviously, you engaged in a contract with them, I guess, about a year ago. And we have Mr. Smitherman and Mr. Kaufman here this evening to give you an overview of the services that they provide and just an update on what's going on.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Brown. Thank you all for having us this evening. As Mr. Brown just said, we have hit around the 1 year mark of our partnership with the city of Fort Meade with the purpose of driving economic development through retail recruitment and commercial investment into the city. Just wanted to provide a brief recap of what all has occurred in the last year. So when the partnership started, we initially started working through an in-depth market analysis, identifying the trade area for the city, making sure that we have a good grasp of the understanding of who the consumers are within the city of Fort Meade, as well as any traveling consumers that y'all are also picking up within the city limits. Extensive data research, identifying peer markets, peer trade areas, and also running gap analyses to identify which sectors of retail may be not fully represented here in the city when it comes to certain products and services. All of these little components start building towards our ability to more effectively market the city and market the city's commercial opportunities, specifically with available real estate. That's the next step in our onboarding process, is identifying which properties of interest make sense for which type of retailer, which type of commercial investment. Going ahead and reaching out, contacting those property owners, understanding their motivation to sell. If they have representation, start building a relationship with their representative, because ultimately what we're trying to do is play matchmaker. We're trying to connect retail brands that we have essentially influence to come and look at the city, look at the market, and then be able to immediately put them towards particular properties that make sense for their type of business. So all of this work is sort of happening on the front end. We then, in December, we're here in person doing a boots on the ground tour where we were coming to see you all, as well as getting eyes on some of these particular properties that we had already been analyzing from our home office. But it's always different when you see something with your own eyes. You get a feel for traffic patterns. You get a feel for how other businesses in the vicinity are operating and impacting each other. From there, we finalized the customer recruitment plan for Fort Meade, which broke down all of this analysis. That document and all of our research information is available on Basecamp, which Mr. Brown, Ms. Johnson, as well as Ms. Wheeler have access to. If anyone would like to see any of that other stuff, one of the 5 of us can happily provide that to you. But once we got through the recruitment plan, your customer recruitment plan, that was when we essentially moved into the outreach phase, to where we took all of the information that we had gathered, had come up with a prospect list of specific retailers in multiple different categories, different channels of retail, and then started conducting our outreach to those brands' representative. Certain brands operate in certain ways. Some are franchise driven, some are corporate driven, some are really driven by developers more so than the brands themselves. Obviously, the retailer is making the decision, but facilitating the right conversations and understanding how each different brand operates and each company operates allows us to get to the decision maker. So our outreach started about 6 months ago. In that time, we have had conversations, shared market information as well as property information with over 40 businesses. We have got what we would call medium level interest from 3 different brands right now. 2 of those are franchise driven and are both in food and beverage. And then a third is corporate driven and is a full service restaurant. We are conducting outreach to multiple different categories, as I mentioned. Of the 44 brands we contacted, that covered food and beverage, grocery, health and medical, home improvement, and really making sure that we are not overlooking opportunities to where certain pieces of property that are available would fit a particular type user. So we've got 2 franchise-driven brands that have confirmed that they have franchisees assigned to the territory. Now it's a matter of let's find the right opportunity where the investment part makes sense. This is where a lot of the hard part comes in, as y'all can imagine. This is where you're getting into negotiating property transactions, which is not always an easy thing. And we will continue to make ourselves available to assist parties on both sides to try to facilitate any of these investments and these transactions further to essentially secure bringing in a new brand. Some other exciting stuff. We recently just partnered with a new data provider. It's called KLI, Calibrate. We have an exclusive partnership with them, and one of the massive benefits from our having access to their data has to do with the power and quality of their mobile data. So we always joke, it's sort of Big Brother-ish. We all know how the ads on our phones work. You walk into a particular parking lot for a business, you then are going to see ads for that business, whether you're searching on Google, whether you're on social media. Well, that information, that data is also incredibly useful to retailers to understand what stores and what markets are getting what type of traffic. And so we have recently gotten into this partnership, and I wanted to share some of the interesting data that we pulled. And this is information that we're going to use to further target our outreach to specific competitors within these same retail sectors. So in your reports, y'all can see, I believe it's on page 3. It is. The existing national retailer visit reports and rankings. So existing nationals: McDonald's, Burger King, Hungry Howie's, Ace Hardware, Papa John's, Dollar General, Dollar Tree, Advanced Auto, O'Reilly. We don't have access to the Wawa data yet. We don't have access to the Culver's data yet, but obviously we will be tracking that as well. Y'all have multiple top 5 performing by visits and ranking within that brand's chain stores nationally. The McDonald's is a top 4%, ranking 496 out of 13,000 McDonald's in the United States. The Burger King is ranked in the top 4 as well at 278 out of 6,300. You've got a top 10 Hungry Howie's, a top 16 Ace Hardware, a top 2 Dollar General. a top 20 O'Reilly. All of these little pieces of information are little things in conjunction with all of the previous analysis we've conducted, market research, are some of the things that will help us be more successful, because of how a lot of these brands operate is they're looking at their competitors. They're looking at the benchmark players within a market to use that to help them understand how their own store would do in a specific site, in a specific area of the city. And so we're very excited to have this information. It's very compelling information. And one of the great things is that the majority of a lot of the retail brands that we're talking to, they use this same platform to do their own market research. And so when we are providing and discussing the exact same information, same data, it also helps us present a more compelling pitch. So yeah, outside of that, we've been to multiple trade shows this year. Drew and I have participated in multiple ICSC trade shows in Las Vegas, in Orlando. Drew is actually flying from here to Atlanta to go to a 2-day show in Atlanta to represent Fort Meade. And at that show and at all of these shows is retailers, developers, corporate real estate directors, tenant reps, and franchisees. And so these are great opportunities for us to build trust and present specific opportunities in person and to continue conversations that we've been having throughout the year. So Drew will be flying out to Atlanta tomorrow to continue in-person representation at essentially the world's most reputable trade shows for retail. And outside of that, we're excited to continue to really hone in and focus our pitch now that we've had 6 months worth of research, 6 months worth of outreach. We've gotten some feedback. We've gotten some confirmed interest to at least further those conversations and start working on identifying specific properties. And so we're excited to continue on. And, that is a recap of the last year. I'd love to answer any questions anybody has.
First, thank you.
Yes, sir.
For being here.
Absolutely.
I want to share that I voiced concern a year ago. I think you all came in under Mr. Dean's administration.
Correct.
I want to be very transparent as a straight shooter. I voiced concern about could the city afford it and what would the benefit be. About a month ago, I spoke to the city manager and I told him that I am concerned about the relationship that we have with the retail strategists with no real proof or benefit of your services. Now, I'm aware of what you all do, and I know there are a few other companies that do the same thing. And I appreciate your presentation, that concern still exists. And I also want to offer grace. I know that there has been quite a bit of turnover here, and so communication could have been a little difficult. I still want to acknowledge what I said a year ago, especially as the city is dealing with strained finances. What you shared in your 6-month benchmark and your 1-year benchmark is not substantial enough for me personally to where I understand the benefit of retail strategists at this point at what we're paying for your services. And I've heard similar presentations as a developer and as a resident. So Mr. Mayor, I just want that concern to be heard again. I want to ask very directly, were you all involved at all with bringing Wawa or Culver's to the Fort Meade area?
We were not. Those deals had both transpired, I think, right around the time our partnership started.
Got it. And
so when I was here in December, the Wawa was already under construction. The transaction had already happened with the Culvers, but the construction had not started yet.
So, and I asked that question first because I was unclear, but the second point is, as I shared at that time, when there was conversation highlighting development in Haines City, the traffic on Highway 27, as I pointed out at that time, on Highway 27 and I-4 corridor and the development, the amount of people who are moving in the area contributes to retail being interested and coming to invest in the town in the same way that Highway 17 is seeing increased traffic. There are some things that happen by way of traffic, increased traffic, and homes being built in the area, rooftops that attract retail. So where I do believe that there is benefit to your services, I am still concerned, especially now regarding Fort Meade's finances and what we're having to look at, what we can afford and what we can't afford. Mr. Mayor, that's all I want to share.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes, sir.
The existing Fort Meade National Retailer Visit Report and the rankings. Let's say McDonald's. When I read the report, because I'm on base camp as well, when I read that report, it talked about other types of businesses that sort of piggyback off of the success of others. Could you speak to that?
Yeah, co-tenancy. That is something, and I know that it's in there in regards to some of the feedback that we've gotten consistently from trade shows. Co-tenancy is a major contributor to commercial development, particularly in the last few years. I think we've all seen newer retail developments that have popped up where, you might be traveling around the state and it seems like you're seeing the same retail development 50 miles apart in different towns with the same brands, very similar build outs. Those are great examples of co-tenancy. And really what that is brands that have identified essentially crossover customer bases. And when there is opportunity to develop a larger type retail center, you'll see particular brands that do have these crossover customer bases kind of buddy up and click up. And the reason why is you want to create a space that's what we call sticky. You want people to come to, say it's a shopping center of any size, come for one reason and end up going into 2 or 3 other stores. And so co-tenancy is a way for multiple brands to enter markets, but also they have basically proven that, hey, if we go along and sort of match our expansion alongside this other brand, we will see success. We will continue to open stores. They're working a lot of the time with familiar developers. And it's a great way for brands to capture an audience outside of their own. So essentially, every brand has their own static customer. They're identified, custom tailored personality of this is who our customer is. But you can also have these overlaps, and depending on what the other co-tenants are, you can then capture additional business that you wouldn't have otherwise.
Thank you.
Back as it relates to, and I'd love to just add a little bit more, as it relates to McDonald's benchmark type retailer, essentially any food and beverage, fast food, and similar to a Walmart for another sector, they are the benchmark. And so that is what many retailers and brands are specifically looking at. Is they're not even concerned about anything else in the market to start. They want to know, how does that McDonald's store perform?
Yes.
If they are at or above average, they'll immediately move into the next phase of looking into the market deeper, start trying to look for properties. If it's an average or below store, they'll probably start looking for opportunities in markets where they might have an elevated level of confidence when that benchmark is a very, very high performing store. And the beautiful thing and I think something that'll be very beneficial is leveraging the rankings for a lot of these national retailers you already have, and the strong rankings that they have. And those are all national rankings within those brands. And so when you're talking about brands that have 5,000 stores and you're in the top 10%, that's a great little nugget to add on to why you should, why brand B should come here to Fort Meade.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. And thank you for coming alongside to assist us with growth and development. I'm pleased with the research that you've presented here today, especially the grocers, 3 of them. That brings me some hope, that possibly there is opportunity for someone to come in and, open up a more suitable grocer in our city, which is much needed, as well as medical and healthcare. So that brings me some excitement. Thank you guys for being kind of like the eyes and ears. And I know probably members of the community that would bring them satisfaction if we could see this come to fruition. And then we'll know that the dime spent was well worth it. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Commissioner Shell, do you have anything?
No.
All right, Gary, thank you for the presentation.
Awesome. Thank you all so much.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I just would like to say that, there's been some employee turnover, obviously, and I contacted Mr. Smitherman, and they were excited about coming here and talking with the council directly. And so I thought it prudent to have him come and just really talk about what we're doing. This is economic development.
Yes.
This will take time, but we need to be focused on it and be consistent. Because right now, what we have done from a staff's perspective is that I've assigned Lakia Johnson. Now, I know she's redevelopment, but at least we have someone they can communicate with and they can get back to the city commission and provide updates. And we need to, trust and verify and review what they're doing. But this is a good company. Okay. I've worked with them in other jurisdictions, and I think that there's value here. And so I'd like for the council to keep open mind. Let's walk down this road with them.
Yes.
And it's annual contract, so we can always evaluate what's going on. So.
And those reports have my direct email as well as my cell. So if there's any other questions that come up, y'all don't hesitate to reach out.
Yes, and I will acknowledge that it was at the FLC conference that they learned that we had new leadership. So in attempts to reach out to old leadership, that's where a lot of the ball had dropped. Yes, sir.
I too, in early conversations with your presentations, was reluctant. In fact, I think I voted against you going the contract because of the money situations as was. But I've been impressed with your research. That was good. I like that. Good presentation. Not sold yet, but I do like research. I appreciate what you've done. And I also understand too, it takes a little bit more than a year. After you spend the first 6 months to gather the information that you've got a data, you've got to build. So I'll give you a little more time.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate you.
But it ain't easy.
All right. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Everyone, thank you all so much.
Gonna move on to item F2.
Yeah, we're going to bring Kylie, our librarian, up here.
Good evening, Commissioners. I hope you all are doing well. I am pleased to introduce Vodum Construction LLC as our construction partner for the Multipurpose Center and Library project. Vodum brings valuable experience in public facility development with a strong reputation for quality, collaboration, and time delivery. Over the past several weeks, we've been meeting with their team weekly to discuss and plan the design phase, ensuring that the project aligns with our goals, budget, and community needs. Their proactive approach and attention to detail have already made a positive impact, and we look forward to continuing this strong partnership as the project moves forward.
Thank you, Kylie.
Yeah. And we should have Vodum's leadership here. Ms. Bernice, I can pass it.
Do they have the presentation in front of them?
I think it's online.
Oh, okay.
You don't want to
No.
Don't do it.
You can see it there, I guess. Good evening.
Good evening.
I am Vernice Atkins Bradley, the president and CEO of Vodum Construction. I first like to start my presentation by saying thank you.
Ms. Bernice, could you adjust that mic up just a little bit? There you go.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll start over. Good evening. I am Vernice Atkins Bradley. I'm the president and CEO of Odom Construction. I first would like to start my presentation by saying thank you to the mayor, commissioners, city staff for selecting us to be your partner with this great project. This is an awesome opportunity for us, and we don't take it lightly. We are so excited about it, and again, we are so very grateful to be a part and to be a partner with you. We have prepared an agenda for this evening to kind of guide us through the presentation we want to present to you. And I will start it off with introducing you to the team that is assigned for this project. Present here is Jeff Seeley, who is the program manager for the project. And then we have Ket West, who is the architect. So it's Vodum Construction and CPH as the architect that is doing your design build project. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Ket so he can talk about the design. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you all could advance maybe one more slide. All right. Again, my name is Ket West. I work with CPH Consulting, and it's been my pleasure to work with Mr. Brown, Ms. Wheeler, and Ms. Short on this project, and to present to you all this evening. We appreciate the opportunity to do so. The site, if you're familiar with it, at the corner of Broadway, Highway 98, and Washington, is a wonderful site. There's a lot of activity beginning already on the site with geotechnical work already being conducted. The design itself, I'm going to start with the site, quickly go to the building, and then we'll kind of look at the. Apparently, you all have a lot of images, which I very much appreciate. The idea behind this site design was to produce a building that would have basically a front door facing towards Broadway, the most important street in the area. The building will have a front face with the library and a lobby space, which I'll get into the details of the design in just a moment. The idea here also, you'll begin to see kind of an axis in the building, north-south and an east-west that will be presented in the floor plan portion. But again, facing the idea here for this particular site placement was to locate the building parallel to Highway 98, so it's got just a little bit of an angle on the orthogonal site, but it's facing the street, which is most important. The second thing that we've done is also we've instead of having all of the parking off to one side, we have surrounded the building with parking, and probably just as important to me, we have 3 or 4 trees out there that are 30, 40, and 50 inches in diameter, and we're doing everything in our that is possible to maintain those trees, because those are very expensive things to replace. So the site's design is currently ongoing. You see in the south end of the site. So north is to the left on the page. On the south end of the site, we'll have our detention basin. There's after the geotech information has come back in from the geotech engineer, we'll know whether or not that's going to be a dry or a wet pond based on the groundwater depths and things. So if you have any questions, stop me at any time. We'll move on then to the plan. So the idea behind the floor plan was to create we have essentially 3 spaces within the building. We have a lobby that's the main entrance to the building, become kind of a pivot point, at which point we could go to the library or we could go down into the meeting spaces, which act as not just meeting spaces for the city to utilize for whatever purpose, but there are also some the potential for use as a hurricane shelter was part of the program for us to follow, and we're following that program. So at the pivot point, you see the lobby, which is divided into 4 quadrants. One of the quadrants in the southwest corner will hold a reception desk, which will be utilized primarily for the meeting spaces. That particular function is kind of a check-in, check-out type place for people that are coming in to whatever meetings or events that you all have in this place. The rest of the space essentially will be utilized for public to sit and congregate during hurricane events and things. Is another space for people to congregate. The space immediately to the west, the north is up on the page, will be the new library space. The volumes currently, I believe, in your all's library are 27,000. This will have expansion potential for up to 32,000, so there is room for growth. The space is divided. You can begin to kind of see in the floor plan the axis I talked about, the north-south, that runs from the lobby down through the meeting space, and then the east-west will run through the library. And we're going to utilize that access through the library as kind of special space. You see seating in the check-in, check-out type activities. On the north side of the library, there will be a computer lab with 8 spaces plus 2 telemedicine booths where someone could come in and begin to utilize a computer that may not have access, so that they could speak to a doctor online. There will be visual control from the check-in, check-out desk across to that space. And then on the south side in the southeast corner of the library will be the 2 offices, one for the executive director and another office with some meeting space. The southern portion, once you pass through the doors from the lobby heading south, all of that area will be within that hurricane shelter. And the 3 spaces, or 1 space on the east side, the right-hand side of the plan, will be able to be subdivided into 3 spaces for events and things. Have some dividers with some sound control and things. The access portion itself will serve as what we call a pre-function space. So in between meetings and things, you have places for people to congregate. They don't have to all go out to the lobby. And in the event that there's a hurricane, there's a little extra space in that area also as well for food distribution, etc. In addition, you'll see the restrooms that serve the hurricane shelter as well as the library. And then you also, we have some other kind of back of house functions. There'll be a catering kitchen, some storage and things. The last 2 spaces in that southwest corner of that wing are the 2 career counseling offices that were required as part of the program. Mm-hmm. And so if you'll go to the next slide, should be a short video, just kind of a fly around. The design incorporates about 5 different materials. We have glass, which you see for the lobby space on there in the front. Thank you. With canopy on the north and south, kind of denoting that axis we talked about. As you progress around the building, you're going to see we essentially created kind of a bookend with 1 type of brick that will be utilized kind of to show the beginning and end of each of these spaces. And in between, we'll have some accent brick, and then we're also going to have use vertical fiber cement siding. Hardy board is a kind of the term that is often used. The idea for all of these, all the spaces, all the windows and things, we're trying to get daylight into a lot of these spaces that may not normally have daylight. The space will have flat roofs on it. We had looked at pitched roofs and things, but we believe that for the hurricane shelter, these are the best roofing choices for the project. And as you begin here on the east side of the building, as we spin around, you can kind of see that we're trying to bring some extra daylight into the spaces that would be used during hurricane event, so that it's not a dark, damp looking space. And we're back here at the beginning. The idea for the taller portion would be to try to incorporate some sort of logo and some signage to denote what this building is. it'll be facing out towards towards Broadway as well. So. I'll pass it off to Mr. Seawood.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners.
Good evening.
I'm Jeff Seeley, the Program Manager in charge of coordinating the overall delivery of the project. Obviously, the artistic delivery and the functionality of the building is key, but that's only one key of the components, right? And we're very happy with the leadership of Ket and Ms. Bernice in getting us thus far. But the cost and time is also equally as important. And this is sort of an expedited schedule. We have 10 months to deliver. Our general schedule works in terms of the first 4 months is primarily the design phase. And I say primarily design phase, there are some construction activity that'll be going during that time. And then the latter 10 months is the horizontal and vertical construction timeframe. We understand also there's some constraint giving the grant with this project. We're already working, making phone calls with the county. We're trying to do an early package so we can gain some time early so we can get to the site a little earlier. Now that's dependent on some of the jurisdictional permits to allow us to go early, but we're working on that. And if we can do that, we can gain a month and kind of relax the schedule a little bit. Also, when it comes to both time and money, we go to a process called value engineering. And that's a process that's been going on throughout. Beyond the great meetings we've been having with staff, our own internal meetings are continually working with the subcontractors. We're pulling into the project much earlier than usual. We're really trying to do a design build delivery, which is often not done these days because of the risk involved. People are trying to wait for 100% design, but we're getting our subcontractors involved. And so we can do some of the early ordering. There are things that we're concerned about, some of the long lead item, whether it's the air conditioning and storefronts, as you can see, especially hurricane rated glazing. So those things are happening. We also, I guess we're not moving the slide, let's look back here. But as far as the value engineering, one of the things that we're concerned about is obviously cost. Every time we think about design, what's the cost of the project. We're also thinking about what we call the life cycle cost of the project. One of the things that our partner architect been driving in and talking with staff and also talking with our subcontractors, it is that not just what is the cost of the material that we're buying today, but what is the maintenance cost or operational cost of that item, because we are conscious about not just lowering costs on the front end for us and then passing on long-term costs, ergo the life cycle cost of the project. So these are the tools and these are the direction we've been giving by Ms. Vernice, and as you can see, she's serious about that in terms of providing a quality product on time and on budget.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that concludes our presentation, and we would now entertain any questions and try to answer them. So.
Any questions?
I have none.
Anyone from the public have any questions? No.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Commissioner Sale.
What would be the capacity of the hurricane shelter?
213 people.
Did you hear that well?
Yes. What's it rated for that?
Kevin, what's the rating? What's the rating?
We will be meeting the ICC 500 FEMA standard for a hurricane shelter.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
it.
I guess, Cat, is that like meeting the wind load of a Cat 4, Cat 3,
Yes.
or Cat?
Essentially, we're looking at wind speeds and things which are a little bit higher than typical.
Okay.
There's also a little bit of there's fire ratings and things we have to consider. The main portion of the building, the lobby and the library are going to be built with a little more common materials, CMU, concrete masonry units, and like bar joist type construction.
Yeah.
For the shelter, we're actually going to use hollow core planks, which are 8 to 10 inches deep, 8 and 10 inches depending on their spans.
Yeah. I guess for me, it'll meet 175 wind load or? what?
I don't have the exact
Oh, okay.
wind speed, but I'll get that back to you on the next meeting.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I think I believe I asked you this in the, our telephone conversation.
Yes, sir.
A lot of windows.
Yes.
You are taking precautionary measures for storm covering.
Yes. So the particular window system that we're going to utilize is made for hurricanes.
Okay.
It's used, I use it all along the coast. I've used it for keys.
Right.
For buildings, for municipal buildings.
Yeah.
The structure of the aluminum storefront itself is beefed up. Basically.
Okay.
And the glazing will be for those areas. We'll have what's called missile resistance.
Well, we didn't have the glazing. We didn't talk about the glazing.
It'll take it'll take a baseball. It'll
Yeah.
take.
Well, we didn't talk about the glazing in the
Yes,
conversation.
yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
If no further questions, is a motion required for this? No action item?
Just a presentation.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys
Thank
very
you.
much. I appreciate it.
Okay, at this time, we will move on to item F03, Boys and Girls Club. We have Ms. Johnson present.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. Tonight we have the Boys and Girls Club here. I've welcomed the task from Mr. Brown to oversee community engagement and operationals for the actual community center building. Again, it's a partnership, and so what they bring. Oh, I didn't know you. So what they bring tonight is what's in the contract is to let us know what they have done the past 3 years, and we're going to renew their contract as well. I've taken some time out these last few weeks to meet with Mr. Rock there to see what upgrades we can do for that building for the Boys and Girls Club. Also met with Mr. T. Where's Steve? So, Mr. Steve, I met with Mr. T today, an amazing employee. Teresa, you have an amazing employee and what he wants to see done. He's a gentle giant. When you start talking to me today and what we're going to do for the aesthetics of the building on the outside. Also, I'll get with you guys as far as board because I want to bring over a playground area, things like that. I met some racquetball players today and wanted to do a mural on that wall as well. So that's for the future, but I want you to meet with them and also Steve. Come on up, Steve. And Jamisha. Oh, okay, Jamisha. Oh, Mr. T. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. How are y'all doing?
Great. How are you?
Good. My name is Tarbier Stevenson. The kids call me Mr. T. Not a fan of my name, but kids call me Mr. Can't mispronounce the letter. But I am a new employee of the Boys and Girls Club. Let me just say this. I've been working with kids for 10 years, and it's been nothing but a blessing. It's been nothing but a blessing. Right here, we have one of our team volunteers that can tell you about our program. Her name is Jada Carter.
Hi, my name is Jada. I really do enjoy going to the Boys and Girls Club, volunteering, having the opportunity, and having an opportunity to actually get a job with experience beforehand, before I start, so I will already know what to do and rules and regulations and everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And my name is Jamisha McCray. I'm the area director for Fort Meade and Bartow. And over the course of the last 2.5 years, I've had the pleasure to help serve this community, whether it was passing out food or doing different stuff with our kids. But our program, basically the things that we do, it helps our kids become the best version of themselves. And we do this through hands-on learning with STEM fun activities. We provide tutoring, homework assistance. We also do peer-to-peer. It's good to see kids who may be excelling in honors or in different things to be able to help other kids, as well as having opportunities to feed them every night. So they get a hot meal every night. We have a lot of families who maybe when the kids go home, they may not get a meal here. And that's in every community, but here specifically, and being able to provide this service has truly been an honor and a blessing to be able to do it as well. And I also wanted to highlight Miss Jada. I've had the opportunity to know her and seeing her come in when she first come in. She might be upset or the kids might do something to her. So to see her turn things around and us to be mentors to our kids, we're not just, passing out papers and stuff. These kids, they might struggle with anger. They might struggle with depression and different things. And so we are the gap and the foundation to help them reach their goal.
Thank you.
Hi. Hi, Commissioners. My name is Steve Giordano. I'm the president of the Boys and Girls Club.
Jamisha is way too humble. This woman goes out, collects kids, teens who have no real answer to college, takes them on field trips, introduces them to the process, teaches them how to do orientation, will come to me and say, I've got these 3 scholarships taken for these kids, but I've got one I still need books to pay for. She is a true hero in the community, and just we're so lucky to have her and representing in this area. We owe you a report. And, as you said, there's been some turnover, so, it's been a long time coming. I want to attempt to give you just a real quick overview of what's happened since last we met because, 3 years has gone by, and we didn't know when we expanded here what it was going to look like countywide, but we've grown quite a bit. So we want to share some of that with you and then talk specifically about Fort Meade, if that's okay. And I'm just going to ask you to keep going. Here we go. We'll go past that. So what we love about our young kids is when we do open, good stuff happens. Crime goes down by 30%, teen pregnancy goes down, high school graduation goes up, teen smoking goes down, and kids get nutritious meals. So let's just keep going because I'm going to go fast. You're not going to go faster than me. So, and in addition to all the stuff that we normally do, we've got from the Polk County Commissioners a grant to do some mental health counseling. And this is really important because not a lot of people are doing it and nobody is doing it for free. So more about that later and how that impacts us in this community. We're all about outcomes. So, what we try and do is we take what the school is doing for report cards and then we look at the at-risk community because that's our customer, that's our client, and then we try and outproduce that. So if Polk County schools are, at one level and the at-risk community is another level, we try and beat Polk County schools. And you can see that in most cases, we always beat the at-risk community with our outcomes. And oftentimes we beat the Polk County school standard as well for its report card performance. So that's what we're doing. We've now grown to 10 locations countywide. When we first started this 6 years ago, we had clubs that were not in great condition. We had no air conditioning in more than half of them. We had no buses that were air conditioned. We had no vans to carry food. Since then, every one of our clubs is air conditioned, including this great facility that you let us use. We spent about $8 million on new facilities and upgrading the gyms and so forth. We bought some vans. We've opened our George Jenkins facility. That's our biggest one there. We have a beautiful gym. We were able to lend it out to the community. We're just going to complete construction maybe next month on a workforce readiness center in Mulberry. And this is going to be very important for us because, little ones, they've got to come here. Mom and them said they have to because that's the only way she can go to work or in summer have them have some care. But the teens, they vote with their feet. And they're not going to come unless we make it interesting and fun for them. And so this Workforce Readiness Center is going to be devoted to just, half of it will be devoted just to teens, but it's going to be, after a feasibility study, us deciding what the communities, all the communities we serve, including this one, need in terms of contractors. Because if you ask these kids what they're going to do when they grow up, some of them say they're going to be in the NBA or the MLB, and well, that's true for some. It's a lottery ticket for most. And I'll tell you right now, some of them are not going to go to college. But vocational training is something that they can all do. And I've got contractors and business leaders out there saying, I can't hire people. And there's 6-figure salaries out there for these kids. So this isn't going to be some shop class. This is us taking them through something. We're going to buy the equipment. It's going to be HVAC and plumbing, electrical. And then what we're going to do is get them licensed and then place them with these companies. And we're going to go for money for economic development councils. So we're very excited to open that next month. We've been around since 1939, but since 2019, we've done more in the last 6 years than we did in the last 80 years. Since then, as she said, we've served 1.5 million meals. Our central kitchen is in Bartow. This is one of the places that we feed through a hub and spoke section. I could say a lot about our food program, but what I'll tell you is most 501c3s that do food programs, they go for shelf-stable meals because the Department of Agriculture gives a little bit of money, and then if you feed the kids for less than that, you get to spend the yield on the supplies and stuff. So most people want shelf-stable meals because, well, they don't go bad quickly. But we don't do that. At 7 a.m., Fast Eddie is in our kitchen in Bartow making a special hot meal for the kids that we then get out there in those vans. So kids are getting it. And we still do make some of that yield, but a lot less than if we use shelf stable because, as Jermisha said, in some cases, especially in summer, that may be the only meal they get. So we have all sorts of young people that regard this as their safe place. We also have a waiting list in most of our clubs. And I do want to tell you a story about the mental health real quick, and I'm mindful that we're probably running over, so I'll talk even faster than I normally do, which is really fast, as you can tell. But I will say, once we decided that we were going to have a place for neurodivergent kids, and these are kids who are on the spectrum for a variety of reasons, I started noticing that in our clubs, you know, there are kids on the spectrum, and I never used to see that. And now all of a sudden we see kids who, now it's still not a great time for them. I will tell you that some of these kids make their best friend the unit director because they're not that well integrated with the other kids. So you still see them off to the side a little bit. So I saw this one guy, and this is in, excuse me, one of Jermisha's other clubs, Sebastian. He had this little guy, and he would follow Sebastian, the unit director, around all the time. And he says to him, listen, it's Autism Awareness Day, and I was hoping that you could, you know, dress in blue for me for tomorrow. Now, Sebastian doesn't do anything small. So not only does he dress in blue, he dyes his hair blue. All the other kids are blue when he comes in. And the kid is just delighted. And where are you going to get that? He's not getting that at school. He's not getting that anywhere else. This is the kind of things that we're able to do that nobody does because these heroes do it every day. So here's where I think, go ahead. And if you just keep clicking, it'll show up. I wanted to show you the companies. I need more than that. There it is. Okay. So we have a 10% CAGR, compound annual growth rate. We look to increase our ADA, our average daily attendance, 10% every year. That's just what we want to do. We want to beat last year. As you can see, and I just took the last couple of months, we always do. We're always ahead as a company. And, you know, you see that in the summer, we get a high point. We had 1,000. Right now, we're at 927. There's 230 in Jenkins alone. Give me the next one and hit a bunch. But we've failed you here. This is the one location where we have not grown the average daily attendance. And you may say, well, why is that? And the answer is, I have not done a great job putting the right leadership here. We think we've changed that, but I wanted to be transparent with you and say, I'm putting up the good numbers, I'm putting up the bad numbers. We have not done you service here. We have not kept up with the ADA. It's a low number, and this isn't your problem, we're spending a lot here. So, you know, we have a ratio of spending dollars per kid. It's really high here because, you know, we still have to staff it. But, you know, so in the last 3 years, we've probably spent near $700,000, 95% of it raised outside of Fort Meade just to get this thing going. But we're saying we're all in. When you asked us to come here, we said we ain't coming and leaving. So we're excited by another lease. We're excited about another 3 years. We're going to pony up more money and put in great management and get the ADA here to reflect what it reflects everywhere else. So we do consider this a teamwork, and you guys have been great partners. This facility that we have, we're not only very pleased to be there, but you're so responsive when we need something. So we understand that it was difficult to give it to us in the beginning, but I see you've got a new beautiful one coming up. So it's everybody, it's a win-win. So we're delighted about that. And I think that's, yeah, any questions?
Yeah, so with the, I have two actually.
Sure.
The Mulberry workforce readiness, are you guys receiving kids from all over the county or just Mulberry?
We're starting with just Mulberry, but we've hired a workforce readiness director, and that individual is in charge of workforce readiness for the entire county. So he will be going out once he establishes what are the vocations that we're going to be doing, what kind of equipment do we need, what will we be doing. For example, we have, and we don't know, this is another one of Jermisha's initiatives. We've got a cutout there. It's a street front. It could be a barbershop. We've got a place for 3 barber chairs and a sink so that we can have real live customers come in and do that. We don't know if the feasibility study will say that that's what the community wants. We're delighted with it because we think it's got, you know, the optics are really good for it. If that's the case, we're going to get barbers from every one of our clubs to go there and bring them over with our vans. So at that point, once we establish what these vocations will be, then we're going to go out and get all our kids, with the exception of Jenkins in Winter Haven where they have their own.
Gotcha. And the average daily attendance. Here in Fort Meade, they're really involved in sports. So I think that could impact, especially when I saw the month of July, there's a lot going on. They have 7-on-7s, they have travel baseball. And so this community is very into sports.
Mhm.
So that could be what's impacting that average daily rate. But I want to know, why is that? Why does the average daily rate have such significance to you?
When I don't know how to run a 501c3, I'm a business retailer, and when I came here, I said, "What is our goal?" And they said, if you've got those outcomes, you've got to reach critical mass in terms of number of kids. And I said, "Okay, what's that number?" And so we went to see Sheriff Grady Judd, and he said, there's 50,000 at-risk kids in Polk County. You're serving about, at that time, 700 a year. So if you can get to 10,000 kids per year, I think year after year now all of a sudden you got generational hope trajectories changing. Now you're at critical mass. If you get to 10,000 per year, and so that's what we just established to be our strategic plan. We're going to get to 10,000 kids. Now, 1,000 members, which is what we hit on average, that translates to about 5,500 kids a year. So we're at 5 years into it. We're more than halfway there to the 10,000 goal. So I've got to have an ADA that's doubling, over time.
So, and with that, your definition of at risk, what is at risk to Boys and Girls?
Well, it's not my definition; it's the county's definition. But yeah, it is those living at the socioeconomic level that is considered, 10% above poverty.
Okay. So it has nothing to do with their development, because you mentioned neurodivergent.
No, and that's such a small portion, Mayor, of what we do right now. I'd love it to be bigger, but that's such a small portion. I would say it's probably 8% of our ADA right now.
Okay.
But at least at least we have a place for them now when we didn't used to.
Gotcha.
What else?
I wanted to say to Jamisha that I would love to work with you with working with that, and helping to identify how we could improve those numbers. I think it may necessarily, there's a perception of Boys and Girls Club, and in this community, we have individuals who think that if they participate, then they would be seen as less than.
I know.
Which they may.
I know.
They may fit the bill. So we could probably work together on how we could better communicate with the people here, our constituents, that this is for everybody, not just individuals on low to moderate income.
No, you're right. I think there's two things. When we fail to raise the ADA, it usually is management. It's usually somebody, in there. We find when we get the right person in there, all of a sudden they develop a rapport with the teachers and with the community, and ADA just starts to go up. We've seen it now in 10 different locations. But the other thing is more to your point, there's specificity that we have to align to. And if you look at, this community and her strength, this is a coach. I mean, she's the one who started us with flag football. She's got a program now to have flag football. So I think we're aligned. I think we're, in a pretty good position to come out of this thing with really good numbers. So, did I say anything wrong? Okay.
But I do have a track record with Bartow. They started at minimum kids, 30 kids, and we average 100 now. So I do believe that we do have the ability to at least average. My goal is 75 here in Fort Meade, and so hopefully we can get some more buy-in with the community, and also the schools. We're having some trouble trying to get that. That'll help us out with building that building that bridge to get kids out.
Any other questions?
Are there any questions from the community?
We do work for you after all.
If not, we do.
Is there, I heard you say something about most of your clubs have a waiting list to get in. Is there a waiting list to get in to the Fort Meade facility?
No, not right now.
No.
Yeah.
Commissioner Shell, any questions?
No, not right now.
All right. If none, we will move on. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Do we get the lease signed?
Say that again.
The lease was it approved?
Do we need a?
It sounds like it. I don't know. I can't speak for the
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And where are we at? Item H, resolutions. That'll be resolution R 2025-100. Stephen, it says Stephen Doyle?
I get.
Absolutely not.
You want me to read it for you?
Go ahead, City Attorney.
Right. A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, approving the scope of services with the Florida Municipal Power Agency, FPMA, for the fiscal year 2026 electric rate review, authorizing the interim city manager to execute the agreement, providing for an effective date.
All right, Mr.
Good
Doyle,
evening.
go ahead. Good evening.
You guys saw the FMPA stuff, and we talked a little bit about this stuff in the budget. The cost on the construction stuff is way down where the materials are just barely being paid for. We're not making anything on cost of construction for houses. Commercial businesses, there's a little lenience there for me. If you look at what I gave you, on the left is what we're currently charging. On the right was a couple of recommendations. Talked at Ocala, Lakeland, Bartow. They're all going to 100% material cost. They're doing the same thing that we're doing. They're just not materials going up. FMPA, you've got also from FMPA, they offered to come in and do a study on the system, looking over the PCA. Anything they can help us with for revenue, that's a no-brainer. That's not going to cost anything. What I'd like to do tonight, I need Marquisha's help on this, is we've got it listed on here as FMPA service agreement. Is there a way to allow us to go ahead and raise our cost on what I just gave you, what I passed out? Still allow FMPA to come in and help us do a rate study, but change this resolution to where we can vote to raise our rates on electric houses and services. This has nothing to do with bills or monthly bills. This is only for when a contractor builds a house. We want to be able to raise our rates up a little bit more than, I guess this was done back in 2021. Yeah. And no raises, no increases since then. And I just want you all to get your money back on the services that we're putting out there on houses.
Okay, so we got two things going on.
I was about to say.
Okay, all right.
Somebody
So
line that up right.
what's on the agenda tonight is an agreement with FMPA, and that is what we need action on. Okay, and for the increase in the fees, I do agree with the director about it, but that can be placed on the agenda for October 28th. We can put a fee schedule on there to increase these fees because these are not related to rates. Okay, so they're two separate issues. So maybe we can get a motion to approve this item, the agreement with FMPA, and then a direction to staff to put this on the agenda for our special call meeting on October 28th, Tuesday. And we'll put together that item.
And before you continue with it, if I can go back to Steve really quickly, because I didn't really understand exactly what he was asking me, and I would just like more clarity on it. And I do want to answer the question if I think that you asked, is that can the commission go ahead and approve something else as well? Since there are two separate things, the commission can approve something separate that's not in resolution form. We like it to be in resolution form for transparency for the public, but if it relates to the same situation, which what we're going here, like the subject matter, he can explain that, and I think that's what he wants to do.
Correct.
And then we can, the commission can look to vote on both, right? A motion can be made separately for both. So if you can tell me what it is.
Yeah, so we're already going to let FMPA come in. We're been discussing PCA numbers, cost adjustments, looking our system over, just looking at anything that we can, that maybe we're missing, that they're helping other utilities with, to make sure that we're maximizing everything we can do in revenue. I thought that we were going to bring this cost change for construction tonight. We already knew that FMPA was coming. It's just the way that it got worded on here, and I didn't see it till I printed all this information out tonight. So, the cost rates for the services can be none too soon.
We had that conversation.
Correct.
When we
Several
took on
times.
the tour, and so I do agree with that. But I would like to see it come back before us on October 28th, just as she said, for transparency for our citizens.
Okay.
And Mr. Mayor, just a request, when it does come back, and I appreciate this, but if we can have it as something that's a little bit more official, rather than the handwriting increase, however it's prepared for the next meeting. Thank you.
Steve, explain to the public the cost.
You build a house right now. We've got $200 for an overhead services, and there again, it has nothing to do with monthly bills. But if a contractor builds a house, we only charge $200 for an overhead service. Every time we build a new house, we're in the hundreds now since I've been here. You're losing money. We've been trying to get this changed, and there's been a lot of changes in staff, and this is just something I've been saying needs to happen.
It has nothing to do with the monthly rates.
Correct. This is construction. All I'm trying to do is change this construction only. And it's in handwriting because I just made some of the phone calls today. I don't have time to sit. Yeah, it's just one of those things that's been on my brain. Every time I talk to somebody new, I just get this is Bartow. Bartow is going to go to 100%. This is it's 30 pages. It takes them 30 pages to explain what they're doing for services. They're just going to say 100% of cost. This is Lakeland Electric. Exactly what they charge each customer. This isn't just handwriting. I mean, it's making sure that every time I go to a house or run a service, we're getting that money back. We're getting the cost back. I mean, but we can keep bringing it back.
I just want to make sure that what is presented and what is shared, we can have it in the same way that your packet. I'm not saying it needs to be 30 pages.
Right.
But if we can have this information put in the same way that the letter is yet, gives us time. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Commissioner Shell, you have anything?
Not at this time, that's it.
All right. Anyone from the public care to speak on this item?
Kansas Lot 324 South Bloxham Avenue. I just basically wanted to reiterate and make sure that we're all clear, because what was stated in the agenda as far as the approval of the scope of services and then the background reasoning as far as the pole charges and connection charges, the reason being given for the FMPA study is that the city isn't charging enough for things for setting the poles and connections of services. Because it only covers the material and not the labor or the overhead, and really not even the material. But the study that's being requested tonight to be approved, the one that the FMPA does, doesn't look at any of those connection costs. It's not going to calculate how much it really costs to set a pole or to connect to a new customer. What it's going to look at is the city's overall electric revenue and rates for current customers, which are the people who are already paying every month. Yes, the FMPA is going to be doing it for free, and that's very appreciative. But even though it's free, the results can still be used later for justification in any other rates that might be set. Even though the original problem being described, the connections, is not about the new development paying it, not the current customers. We're being told this is what this is for, and what it actually measures are two very different things. If the concern is that the connection and pole setting fees are too low, then the answer is to do a separate cost of service study, which is what Mr. Steve has done, that shows what those fees should really be. That way, growth pays for the growth, and the current customers aren't going to be asked to shoulder the cost for any new construction. Thank you.
Yes. I believe that's why we said bring it back as a separate agenda.
This is I don't want to speak on this right now, but I will. Okay.
Yeah.
We need to act on the item before you. And we will make sure that we have resolution. We don't adopt fees like this. Okay?
Correct.
All right? Because the public should be aware of what the fees were and what we're adopting. Okay?
Yeah.
And this is just a way of informing the commission that we need to act on these fees. This has been going on for a very long time.
It has.
And so we need to make ourselves whole, and we can do this on October 28th.
Yes.
And so I'll personally put together this stuff so it's not handwritten notes and that kind
Do you
of
want to
thing.
do the FMPA approval for the resolution?
Yes.
Yes, that's what we're doing. And I'll entertain, if no one else from the public would like to speak on that, we'll close that part and then I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the scope of services with FMPA for the fiscal year 2026 electric rate review and authorize the interim city manager to execute the agreement on behalf of the city.
Second.
So we have a motion and a proper second. Any further discussion? If none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? None, motion carries. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
And we're moving on to item H2.
Resolution number 2025-101, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, authorizing the city manager, after consultation with and approval from the city attorney, to dispose of outdated, expired, or uncollectible municipal liens, requiring the city manager, in conjunction with the deputy clerk, to maintain a master list of such liens, providing for administrative efficiency, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
All right. And Mr. Brown.
Okay, so this has been a joint effort of myself and the city attorney to try to make sense of how do we dispose of or deal with outdated, expired liens. Okay, this is a very complicated field here. It will require legal advice, and so in most cities we have a way of dealing with this. It's done administratively. So, for example, if a lien is expired or it's outdated or it's void, okay, at the very beginning, meaning that the action that we took and the lien that was filed in the public records, it's not good or it's not legal, then we go through a process of having a legal review done of it to make sure that it's either valid or not valid. Right now we have, I think we estimate about, and this is why I'm going to throw some numbers out there, and I don't want you to start saying, okay, because these are running fines and they run. But we estimate about 364 liens totaling about $48 million. Now we know that we don't have $48 million of unrecovered liquid assets, okay? Because, you know, these liens have statute of limitations on them. Some of these liens were placed on homesteaded properties where we will never be able to file foreclosure actions on. And so what we're asking for is the authority to identify what, after we create this database, identify the ones that are defensible, ones that are not valid, and dispose of them. But it's a process of that. I don't just do it in my office. What happens is our code enforcement officer will analyze this. He'll make determination based on what he does. Okay, like if the lien, you know, let's say it's not perfect, you know, the name, we don't know the name of the person. It's just filed against somebody's property. These are the kind of things that we're going to be looking at. Then we would make a recommendation. It will go to the city attorney. It won't go to the special magistrate. This is something that will go to the city attorney. Now, she will look at the lien to make a determination if the lien is valid or not, and move to clean up our books, to get it off of our books, because it's not legally enforceable and we have no way of collecting that lien ever. Okay, and so that's I'm not going to practice law tonight, but I know that if we don't go through this and look at each lien on its own face systematically, we wouldn't be doing ourselves justice. There are liens right now that have not been touched. We know that we can't foreclose on them. Okay, By the way, that's the end result of these liens that are placed. The end result is us exercising our foreclosure option. The law is pretty clear in this area that if it's homestead property, we can't exercise a foreclosure, meaning that we can place a lien on homestead property, but we can't do anything with it. So it's sitting there. Now, I'm not saying dispose of that. It can just sit there because someone will come in, a property owner will come in and say, hey, look, you know, we'd like to you remove this lien. And so we'll go through an exchange with them about, well, we got hard costs involved. You know, we want to make sure that we collect our costs. The city attorney is going to have to look at that, and we're going to have to charge her costs to that as well, because our lawyer has to look at it to make sure that it can be legally removed. And then if she says yes, then we will exercise a release of lien. That's how this program works. And that's what we envision in this item. Now, Ms. Smith, she can talk about the rest of it if she like. That's what this is. It gives the staff the authority to deal with these types of things.
You talked about creating a database. What do you mean by that?
So we don't know if everything was automated or electronic. Okay, and so what we are doing, we're going to assess all the liens that we have in the city. That's a major undertaking. But now we have a code enforcement officer. There's actually been a code enforcement officer who's been a chief of code enforcement that understands how to create that database so that we can review each one of these liens to see, you know, when they were filed, what the violation is, if they are even valid, if we've gone out and stopped the lien from running, okay? Because what we're finding out is that no one looked to maintain those liens. Right. When I say maintain those liens, I mean someone has to go out and say, is the grass still high? Right. And so if they see that the grass has been cut, even though it's a violation there, they would stop that lien from running. Right. That hasn't been done. That's why we have liens that total $48 million. Right. And so our goal is to focus our efforts on creating this database, maintaining these liens so that we know what we're talking about when someone walks in here. There is not a process that exists right now. And I know that we've had one. I've seen 2 resolutions in the past, and those were good examples of how you go about it. They could be better, and that's what this item is trying to do, improve upon what you've already done. And so that's what this item is about.
I was under the impression that we already created a database, though.
Okay, so we have discovered that a paper, like a paper with
identified
that has identified things. There is no date on it when this occurred. We don't know who did it, and we've searched our shared server looking for the Excel file. But we have a paper copy. That's how I know that. That's why I said this unnamed report of all the liens that they identified, and that's what it totals. And it's kind of broken down by I guess where it's recorded in public records, the amount that it's accrued to, and property address of where the violation occurred. I think the date that the special master confirmed the fine is one column, and the date that it became a lien and was filed in public record. So there are a couple of things that relate to this particular thing. So that's what we have.
Okay.
Back at square one.
Well, this is automation, and this is, technology, use of technology, incorporating that in business practices. And this is what happens when you don't do that. Gotcha. So we simply just have to make sure that we incorporate technology in our business practice.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay, and if we do that, then we can be more transparent with the public when that happens.
Right.
All right. Yes. Commissioner Scale, do you have anything?
I think I understand it. That was a pretty long explanation, and I totally agree with getting rid of the old lanes. They're doing a good thing just to sit there. So I guess I agree with what you said. I think that's the proper way to do it myself.
All right. All right. Anybody from the public? Come on up.
All right, most of y'all know me. Floyd Nelson, 151 Sand Mountain Road. What's your name, please? Will Mitchell. Right here, I'm holding a lien notice for 507 North Hendry, Fort Meade, Florida. This lien states, would you like the violation number?
No.
You address all your
Okay.
comments to the commission, please.
This property had a fine put on it October the 15th, 2008. That lien is still rolling today. $250 per day. If you can do simple math, 1.6 million right now. How do we know what that hard cost is going to be? Because if you come to me right now and said, well, if we were to settle for 10%, that's $160,000 for a $20,000 lot. So how do we come to the point where we know what we're paying? I'm actually going to ask for the amnesty on it because the property was satisfied, cleaned up. The code enforcement officer, Mary Jane or Mary Jo, whatever her name was, did not follow through and drop the violation on it. So it continued to roll, and it's still rolling today. And we've had several different code enforcement officers, and they have not looked at the back history of it. They haven't looked at the out-of-date ones. So if we have the out-of-date ones, they should be able to go in there and pull it up and say, okay, this is history. Let's pull it up and look at it and see, is the property in code? This could have been probably settled the same year. But today, we're at 1.6 million and growing. So I feel your pain, and I see what you're saying where you say 48 million. A lot of people go, that's hard to believe. It's not hard to believe. It's happening. We've got to do something to try to, and this is a homesteaded property. So you'll never take ownership of it. I mean, we got to do something to try to fix these outdated liens to where the citizens can afford to drop the lien on their property and move forward. If you wanted to sell that property right now, you cannot do it because there's a lien on it. The lien has to be satisfied before you can sell it. So I appreciate your time. Mr. Brown, I appreciate everything you've done, especially today. Appreciate your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. All right. If no one, come on up.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I brought just some stuff I'd like to
State
eat.
your name and address for the record.
My name is Eric Greenhow. I actually live in Polk City, 905 South Drive, Polk City, Florida. Can I give you a copy of this to review?
You got a bunch of them?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll pass them out. Go ahead and you talk about it. We spend time. We'll give you this one. Okay.
So, I also spoke with Will just in the last week or two. Very good conversation. So I do appreciate you reaching out to me. Similar to the gentleman who just spoke, I reached out to the city prior to even buying the lot, which I own, which is stated on the front here, 722 9th Street Northeast. The city couldn't even give me an answer what liens were, and it was up for auction. And I was trying to find out. I couldn't even get an answer for the city. That was in April. Knowing that lien amnesty program existed, I purchased the lot. And look in the back, towards the back, are pictures when I bought it. It looked like this. And this was in April. And then I immediately, in April, cleaned it up. And it's still remaining clean today. Here's some after photos here. It's a beautiful lot now. It's a beautiful lot. Actually, Will, you said you drove by it, I think, and verified that. But this evening, I've heard it several times, community development. You want community development here, and I want community development here. I love Fort Meade. I have other rental houses in Fort Meade. I have other vacant lots in Fort Meade. I love Fort Meade. I want to invest here, build here. But I can't also, I was told this was like $600,000 or something, and it's accruing. When here the lot has been, it's looking nice. But so I'm not pointing fingers. I didn't print all these emails to point fingers. It's just I am proactively reaching out to the commission, to the mayor to city manager. I'm proactively reaching out every 2 weeks. I'm like, I haven't heard anything. So a week or 2 or 3 goes by. I still haven't heard anything from anybody. So I proactively reach out again. Another week or 2 or 3 goes by. I want to give you money. I want to give you money to clear this. I can't do anything with a lot. So, and nothing. A week or 2 goes by. I reach out since April. It's a half a year. And my money is tied up.
You say you reached out to the mayor, you said?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I think you reached out to former city manager Elise Drumko. You reached out to myself. I've been communicating with him.
Elise
I
Drumgo.
don't recall receiving anything from you
That's okay. How long have you been the mayor?
since January.
Since January. Okay. I can look back and I have multiple emails. But the point is, I can't. There was a George McNerney or something, an Allison Cost, the Drumgo, on and on and on. And again, I'm not here to point fingers, so I promise you, no, if those folks are in the audience, I'm not trying to say that. I'm just trying to say I want to develop this lot, and I'm taking care of it. And I love Fort Meade. I want to keep investing here. I don't have to invest here. I could buy in Winter Haven or Lakeland, which I do, but I'm happy to, try to develop and bring up Fort Meade. But I can't get any help. So I don't know what to do. So I asked to come here tonight, and I'm trying to proactively resolve this. But yeah, $600,000. This lot's, it's like the other gentleman here. It's not worth that. So one other thing, I did file for the lien amnesty program. I submitted a lien amnesty application in May, and I submitted a $125 lien amnesty fee in May. Come maybe August, something like that, September, I reached out, hey, what's going on with my lien amnesty application? And they said, you need to submit one. I said, I already submitted it. And they said, we need to submit the lien amnesty fee. And I said, I did submit the $125 fee. And they said, no, you didn't. I said, yes, I did. I showed the cashed check. Y'all cashed my $125 check in May. Not that that's a lot of money, but still, I'm taking all the steps I can, and I want to do right by the city of Fort Meade. I don't know what else to do. That's why I'm standing here. If someone can, 722 9th Street Northeast, if you could please help me, I'd love to, make that really nice. And again, I've got other properties here too, and it's a wonderful place, but I need help.
Is it 792?
722, sorry if I misspoke, 722 9th Street Northeast. It's just over here. 722.
Yeah.
722. I'm not, I actually want to develop it, but I have a neighbor wanting to buy it from me because I think her mom or someone lives right next door. And my hands are tied. I can't sell it. I can't develop it. I did, again, proactively, and I'll stop talking, but no one, these are from a prior owner, I should also say. These liens, they're not from me, my property, and I didn't take care of it, and I caused the lien. They're from someone else. I tried to do the amnesty thing. I paid the money. I don't know what's up with my money. I want to take care of this lot and do some community development. So I would appreciate your help.
All right, Mr. Greenhow, this is what we talked about earlier about having that workshop so we can cram things together, get it right, and someone to be in contact with you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your help.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Another, Mr. Steve.
Good evening, everyone.
Steve, good evening.
I have a couple of questions.
Could you state your name?
Stephen McKenzie, 528 South Sentinel Avenue. I have 2 properties, both on Main Street. Back in the day, in 1935, one of those buildings was built. My father, in his 90s, decided to turn the lights off. And when he did, I came and found out that to get the lights back on, I had to bring the building up to code. 1935, no way possible. The other property, it was did not follow the codes. The house was torn down. I thought I had taken care of it, but it's still on the list. So my question is, how do I get to apply for the amnesty? What is that process? And who do I need to contact to do that? That's basically what I'm trying to find out.
And we're currently addressing that, and so give us a little bit more grace, and someone will be getting with you
Perfect.
when we
Thank
roll
you.
it out. Anyone else from the public? If not, Commissioner Shell, did you have anything?
No.
All right,
I'm sorry, I have a question.
come forward.
Just need to know, do we have a code enforcement officer now?
Yes.
Okay, so we finally got one in place. I haven't heard, so I just wanted to, all right, thank you.
That's Mr. Will. All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Sorry, Mayor.
Go ahead.
Question. So the next time we hear from you will be in November at a special. How much time do you need?
Okay. When you say, are you referring like to deal with all this, or what are we talking about?
Regarding the you mentioned that you're going to be reviewing the list. It says 300 and how much time?
That's going to take some time.
Okay.
But what we're asking for is the authority to deal with on these case by cases, because staff has no authority to dispose of it. We thought that we did. There was an old resolution that the council approved that allowed for us to do an amnesty, but it ended June 30th of this year. And then we had another policy that we thought was effective that dealt with mitigations and that kind of thing. But I was informed by the city attorney, it was repealed. And so that's why we made the gentleman pay the $125, because we thought we had the authority. But when we start going through the process, we didn't have the authority to reduce anything. We couldn't do anything. That's why we're before you this evening, to try to get some guidance and discussion on going forward with this policy.
Should this motion pass, so it's clear, is amnesty still?
This item is for liens that we believe that are not good, that are outdated. This will be handled by the staff and with approval, legal review, and approval from the city attorney.
So if there are additional questions about amnesty?
That's the next item.
That's the next one.
Yeah, thank you.
So back to resolution
Yeah, R20.
R 2025-101. I'm sorry, dash 103.
101.
It's 101?
It's 101.
Okay.
When y'all speak, can you pull your mic down a little bit? Thank you.
I will say that thank you, Mr. Brown, Mr. Will, for taking on this colossal task to find the proper resolution, because I think this too is one of those items that keeps coming back before us and being kicked down the road and no real resolve. So thank you for taking on this task. It's necessary. And I do know for a fact that the previous models that were being utilized, I'm gonna just say it appears just from experience that it was kind of like a shoot from the hip type of thing, and it explains a lot as to why we're here. So I appreciate the fact that we are taking necessary steps to correct and to, like you said, bring us from an antiquated system, an antiquated way of doing things, to a more modern system that not only will utilize currently, but for the future. So I appreciate, and I know it's going to take some time and some effort, but I'm looking forward to you all presenting and letting us know that we now have rolled out a system where we can begin now to properly assess fines as well as track them in a proper fashion, to where we know for a fact that, no, this is when it started. This is when it ended. This is when you brought the code into compliance, when you brought the property into compliance. It's long overdue. So thank you. Thank you very much.
All right.
All right, Mr. Mayor, I move to approve resolution R 2025-101, granting the city manager authority after consultation with the attorney to dispose of outdated or expired liens and to maintain a permanent master record of such liens in conjunction with the deputy clerk.
We have a proper motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have
discussion.
Go ahead.
I've discussed with the city attorney today about some of the concerns I had with the way it's written. I'm not against the program. I'm for getting something done. I don't think the meeting discussion of the topic is all in the writing now. And I would like to put.
That's gonna be for the next one. That's the next item. Because this one is not the amnesty. So let me just clarify this for the audience or whatnot. When individuals were speaking at the podium, some of them referenced the lien amnesty program, which seemed to cross over with the lien, the removing of the outdated and expired liens, right? And so I think that's where a little bit of the confusion lies at. So right now, the only thing we're addressing is the outdated liens, like things that we can't recover from, such as if it's on homestead property or if it's over 20 years old or something of that nature.
The authority of it.
But the lien amnesty program is the next one that we discussed, and I think that we got some conversation on.
Well, my conversation probably much good, both of them.
So both of them?
For
Okay.
the record, there's my concerns, and I would like more time to study what we've got here. We did have a lot of time to research this in depthly, and then got the legal opinion this afternoon at 3:27. I need to look at it a little closer also. And the authority, I want to be sure the writing and liabilities that the city may face could be sure the proper verbiage is in the resolution.
So I don't understand what the proper verbiage. What we're asked, what we're being asked to do is give the interim city attorney, city manager. I'm pointing at you. I'm sorry. The right to review these on a case by case situation. Turn it over to legal and find out if it is legal to if this fine is valid or if it's not valid. And if it's not valid, then we take the course of getting rid of it. Because if it's not valid, then we can't collect on it anyway.
Agree. Understand.
So what is it to further?
I just want to be sure the writing is there that we're covering.
So if I can add, what was stated to me today was the crux of it would be allowing the interim city manager and the city attorney to dispose of the expired or outdated liens without further commission review.
Right.
And so that would
General
be
authority laid with the commission.
Well, it would. I mean, I don't see if that was secretive. If you would just said that portion. So, is there any opposition to that, or what are we saying?
I have no problem with the program.
You just want
I just want
to.
to be sure it's clear, I understand it, and everybody understands what's in writing, and what's going to transpire as we go on to the amnesty program.
Okay.
Ask for more time to review,
But we're not referring to the amnesty program at this point.
but it leads together. It leads on. Not right now. We're not.
Correct.
We'll lead on.
Okay. All right. So we had a motion and a proper second, and we've had discussion. All in favor signify by saying, let me do one thing before I move on. Commissioner Shell, did you have any questions or discussion?
No, I asked my question, answered my question.
Okay. All right. So at this point, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. None, motion carries. We're going to move on to item H.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Item H3 now.
resolution number 2025-103, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, establishing a code enforcement lien mitigation policy, providing for compliance requirements, settlement agreements, cost recovery, and forgiveness guidelines, and providing for an effective date.
All right.
Mr. Brown.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Now, this item is the lien amnesty program.
Yes.
Okay, and so we can talk specifics about this. This is where you are granting mercy to people who have liens on their property during a certain set period of time. So what you've done this before, and it's not uncommon for cities to do these kinds of programs. You know, a lot of them are time limited. They don't run forever. But you say you got until next year, October 31st, to make application and come in, and you can, make a request. You pay an application fee like the gentleman did, and we'll review it. So there's a number of specifics in this resolution, but one of them is that they must pay all your hard costs. So like any money that we spend or taxpayer dollars, we get that back. Okay, and also if we have any legal fees associated with that as well. But the way this program works, it just provides amnesty. It's kind of like a fancy word for saying giving someone grace. And so that's what this does. So the program will run from November 1st, 2025 until October 31st, 2026. In order to be eligible to get amnesty, you got to have your property in compliance. So you can't come in and say, I'd like to get my lien reduced under this amnesty program, and you got code violations. Not just the code violation that created the lien, but we're saying any code enforcement violation that the code enforcement officer, when he goes out to look at the property, he sees other things. So if a person has high grass violation, he goes out and he sees junk vehicle storage, trash, and debris, he's not going to sign off and say these folks are eligible for a lien amnesty program. It's not fair. Okay. And so that's one of the program criteria. The other thing is that the special magistrate will be involved with this process. So it'll be a recommendation from the city code enforcement officer. It'll be agendized to the code enforcement special magistrate. The code enforcement special magistrate is an attorney. They should be, right? I don't know if they're required to, but most of them, they are attorneys that specialize in liens under 50 and 162. So they understand all of this, how it works. So they look at the request, they see if there are mitigating circumstances, and then they will approve the request or not. They can reduce it, they can modify it, they can do whatever, but we're giving them the authority to deal with those issues. Okay? And so that's what this program seeks to do. So this is not the city manager and the city attorney. This is an entity that's created under Florida Statute 162 that they are authorized to deal with these kind of issues. And so our special magistrate, I think, is out of Bowling Green or Wauchula, but we have a special magistrate. We have not had any hearings because we have not had a code enforcement officer, but now we have one. And so we're going to resume code enforcement hearings, and special magistrate would receive these applications for these requests that will come through. Yeah. And so this will be helpful because, like you heard earlier, we have folks that are buying property that they can buy the property, but what happens if they try to go get a loan on it, things happen where what we're doing is, we have to have our lien satisfied before, I think on the hard costs, like the lot clearing liens and stuff like that, those are superior to a mortgage, I believe. I think the code enforcement liens aren't, but they go in position of whatever. But this is time limited. It's not forever.
Right.
It's only until October of next year. And this is a fair way of going about it. I think the previous policies that we had, it just gave the staff the authority to reduce liens, period. And so this kind of provides a more structured approach and a way to have legal review by someone skilled at that. And so this is what we were able to come up with. I think it's a wise way of going about it. And the city attorney and I worked on this together.
Okay, awesome.
Question for you. Who is the special magistrate? Do you know offhand?
The question is,
Who is the special magistrate?
you know, I don't know who the special magistrate is, but I know we have one. And I know that person's very active in this community. Or Mitchell. Elliot
Okay.
Mitchell. Elliot Mitchell. And he's not related to our code compliance officer.
Okay, thank you.
One question I do have we looked at other cities in an effort to possibly provide examples or do a piggyback on what their lien amnesty programs look like, what the fee structure is in regards to, what percentage others are paying,
Yeah.
Have we-
Well, I can answer that.
Okay.
We have not done a survey of other communities.
Okay.
We have not. But I know that in 4 of the cities I've worked in here in Florida, that this is a policy that you decide. And this is consistent with what we see, like going to the special magistrate, having them dispose of these liens. I know, well, I can name if you want, but I'm sure the city attorney can name them as well. But you're seeing a lot of these go to the special magistrate because they're skilled at handling these items. Because there have been some recent law changes on, statute of limitations. That person will be able to tell us, say, well, this shouldn't come to me because this lien is not valid because it was imposed 25 years ago.
Right.
And so they could zero that out,
Mhm.
and it wouldn't come to the special magistrate because he's not, the code enforcement officer is going to stop it from going there because if they have violations on their property, he's not going to put it on the agenda for it to be acted upon until they fix the problem. So,
Right.
so that's what this is. But this is a term policy. It's not permanent. And
Right, I get that. I was
Yeah.
just wondering what other cities their fee structure might be, what percent of the original lien amount some other cities might be charging residents when they come up for.
Yeah, this can be as elaborate as you want it or not. But the reason why we call this amnesty is because it's just that, Now, what you're referring to is what we see in like regular routine business. Like someone walks in and they have a lien on their property. I'm seeing things capped at a certain dollar amount, like $5,000 per violation. That way it doesn't accrue and we have this headache that's happening right now because you don't have to worry about maintaining it. If another violation occurs on that property, then we will take it back to special magistrate and they would find them in violation again and it'll be double the fine. Okay. And so that's how we would deal with that moving forward. Okay. But if you wanted a standing policy in place, we could do some research. There's some criteria out there. Some people say 20% of the property value. I think that's what you guys had something like that.
We
before.
did, yeah.
And so you could do that, But I think that was an attempt to deal with them on a daily basis. This is not a daily basis thing. This is a one-time thing. So if we can get the inventory done, if we can know what we have, if we can dispose of the ones that are not any good per our lawyer, then we can start organizing our code enforcement program in a way that we don't have to worry about, these gentlemen coming up saying that you got a $1.6 million lien because that doesn't make sense. It makes sense from a mathematical standpoint because it might still be in violation, but that's the reason why on that first program you approved, he's going to be doing routine and programmed inspections annually on all liens. That's to make sure that when there are violations that have been remedied either by time or the property owner, that he stops them from accruing. So, but that's going forward. That's not going to deal with what we're dealing with now.
So when I visited with Mr. Mitchell, the task he's being asked to do is not a one-person task.
It's not. And this is why
So will he be provided some sort of assistance for this?
He is, I can't say, but I can say this. This is going to be.
And he didn't ask me to say that.
I understand.
I just saw what I saw.
I don't know how. I know. Well, listen, let me just state it this way. So the clerk, now I know she's called the deputy city clerk, but she is the clerk who will be part of this whole organizing effort, maintaining a database so the public is aware of it. So that way, no one's running into the code enforcement. I'm saying, well, let me see what your database is. This will be a very public thing.
Yes.
And so we're going to have give him some assistance. There's no doubt in my mind. The attorney's going to have to be part of that because she's got to review it and make sure that if we recommend releasing the lien, that it's valid because this is a liquid asset. And you guys have to dispose of it. And the way you're choosing to dispose of it in this respect is if there's a problem, if the lien is defective, okay, or void at the very beginning. So yes, he will be provided some assistance. I don't know what that is yet, but we have a wicked problem right now. And the problem we have right now is because Will has been doing his own investigation. That's how I know it's 48 million and about 364 liens. And now we got to go to the public records in Polk County and verify against. So we're going to try to use technology, GIS, AI, and try to speed through this process. So he will be given some assistance. I'm gonna try to help him as much as I can because I think trying to get all that side by side so he can say this is still good or not. We're gonna work on that. So it'll be him, the deputy city clerk, the attorney, whoever else. She might have someone in her office that can do this for a fee that we could just tack on to this. So we'll work out something. I know she probably ain't talking to me about that, but there's something that we can do. So we'll work on it together. All right.
Yeah. Let me, Mr. Mayor, if I may go back to Commissioner McCutcheon's question. When city admin asked me to create this program, I did look at about 10 to 15 different cities and coming up with this. I can get you guys those names. I don't have them right now to rattle off. I think for time purposes, it's not necessary, but I can get those to you. What we have traditionally seen is there is a waiver of up to 90% of the lien. Some cities do 85%, but the majority do 90% waiver, and that's what that's what it is in standard. I think that's what you were asking for with this program. There's been a lot of crossover with talk about the lien mitigation and lien amnesty program, and I think even when Mr. Brown was speaking, he referenced back again the lien mitigation program. So we really need to kind of keep those very separate. Okay, they do have some crossover because they involve the same thing, which is liens, right? But one of them just expressly talks about liens that we cannot recover as a city, which you guys have already approved that, so we're done with that part. This right here talks about liens that are recorded in official records that the special magistrate does not have authority per Chapter 162 to go and get rid of. That lies specifically with this board. So I need to make that clarification on record. The special magistrate is not going to be involved in this lien amnesty program as far as approving whether or not the city would dispose of those, because once something is recorded in official records, the special magistrate is divested of that power to be able to remove those liens or give a satisfaction. Or release. So what this program essentially does is it allows the city commission to make a policy. A policy can be created. So this governing board is basically given that that policy and that I want to say they're giving that authority away almost, but because it's put in policy to allow the city manager and the code enforcement officer to go out and they'll verify and they'll take these different steps that are there. Like once a person comes in and they apply on an application and they end up bringing up all of the violations and then there's some type of record that's made of whatever the hard costs are. So once they go through each one of those steps in the program that you guys can change, right? So it can be as long or as short as what you want. Most people have lien amnesty programs in place. Not most people, most cities have them in place for a relatively short time, about 6 months. The only reason why I put this down for a 12-month period is I was listening to the conversation that you had of record last time at the meeting when we spoke about this. And there were some individuals, I think one individual from the community who's here spoke last time, and it came up that if these are in the millions or whatnot, what would that look like if you had to recover a percentage? Even 10% of, a couple million is significant, and they likely won't be able to make that payment, right? And that could be a lien that's outdated or expired, which is different, right? So we don't know. We'd have to look at that. But this flexibility here, I need to point you to this if you're going to talk about it and you're not going to go with doing a workshop and postponing this, then I do need to point out that you're going to have to give us some points on what the staff is going to put in. It says applicants shall pay blank percent of the original lien amount. So what I've seen is typically they pay 10%, right? But you can do more, you can do less. But I also put, but no more than blank. And I put that in there in line with a comment that was made by one of the commissioners that said, well, hey, what if they're paying 10% and that comes up to be $100K, that's excessive, maybe, possibly. They won't be able to make that. So you can also put parameters on there and say, but it won't be any more than $1,000 or $500. That rests with you all. So that's what I talked to Commissioner Watts about today. We do not have the authority to set those parameters. You can certainly set those and develop this policy. You can give us any guidance on it, which is why it may be better to do this in a workshop. But that's where I'm at on it.
All right. Well, thank you.
So this is what I also, because I had the same conversation with Attorney Smith regarding sitting here at this time trying to hash it out. I feel that it should be a workshop so that everything that we're asking for to be presented to us, different cities, different ways of doing it, and multiple options, so we can bring it all together. So that it is as less painful process as possible if you are an individual that has the outstanding a property that has this outstanding number and you just don't have the means of satisfying it. So if that's my opinion, but if that is the will of the commission, I would like to entertain a motion that we set for a workshop around this right here at another date. Now, having said that, does that impact, or it should not impact what we've already given the authority to for the mitigation. So we would like for those to continue to move forward and then have a discussion around this particular item is my opinion. Any feedback from the commission?
I would like to see the workshop.
Commissioner Shale?
I agree. I think we need to workshop.
Commissioner Williams?
Same.
All right. And Commissioner Patchen?
I agree.
All right.
How about October 28th?
On October 28th?
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to force you to do anything.
Because we would have to. Will we have to come early to have it? Or what?
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
You know, because you guys will already be here. You know, we could have some discussion. By that time, we'll have some research done, and you can kind of see what the other jurisdictions are doing. And we're going to take a hodgepodge of jurisdictions. Okay, it may not be here in Polk County.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but we'll find other jurisdictions to look at.
Okay. All right. How does the motion need to be framed, Attorney Smith?
Right now, we can just do a motion to table, and that's just because the table doesn't give you a definite time frame to bring it back, and because the workshop is on the 28th and we don't know what's going to happen there, I wouldn't do a motion to postpone. I would do a motion to table.
Mm-hmm. I will entertain a motion at this time.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we table resolution 2025-103.
Second. And let me go into discussion. Even though we've discussed this at length, I want to give the public opportunity to speak on it. Anybody have anything additional they would like to say regarding the amnesty?
On the Floyd Nelson, 151 Semont Road. On the amnesty that you're talking about, he's going to do an assessment on the property. Come back. How is the public going to know? Are we going to announce it in the city hall meeting? Are we going to put it in the media? What this person needs to do? My mother-in-law is 73 years old. She owns this property. She's on a fixed income, like most of our senior people are. That's why we have applied for the amnesty. And I guess that's out now, so
Okay.
we just move forward.
All right. So I'm sure there will be ways to advertise
I can
what
speak
the
with him
new.
after the meeting.
Okay.
That way we don't waste any time. If
Thank
you. You can just.
All right. Anyone else? If not, we will proceed with, we do have someone else. Come on up, Mr. Steve. Come on up to the mic, please.
I apologize for that. My question is, my liens are basically 2009, 2004.
Mm-hmm.
Is that considered the age of the lien?
I don't know that answer, but that's the purpose of the workshop.
And I'm not gonna give a legal
Yes.
opinion of something I'm not looking at in front of me.
So,
Because I'm not really qualified for because my properties are not homestead.
mm-hmm.
So they were basically commercial and residential, and that zoning has changed.
It should be back commercial now.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay,
You're referring to on MLK, correct?
yes, both those lots on MLK. So
And that's in the first block from 17 to
it's between French and Charleston.
French.
Seminole, French, and Charleston.
So it is my opinion, and I may be wrong, and we have to look into it. What we need to find out exactly where the commercial part of MLK is. All of MLK is not commercial.
Okay, that's good to know also. Okay, all right, so that's my question basically.
And what I would say is, like Interim City Manager Brown said, if he could just follow up with everyone that may have specific questions, the application packet does have a process in there. If the city commission approves it, which allows code enforcement to be able to talk back directly to those individuals about whether or not they're going to qualify for the program. It has to be in writing and different things of that nature. But I think that right now, since it's not up for a vote and it's been tabled, any further discussion wouldn't be necessarily warranted at this time. So I think I would
Okay.
recommend closing it out.
Gotcha.
So my make clarifications. Amnesty is different from disposal of the property, right?
Yes, it is. And
Okay.
then, Mr. Brown, if we can just get your phone number, then we can follow back up with you too after the
Perfect.
meeting.
He has it. Thank you for that, Attorney Smith. And continue with your motion. Did you finish it?
There was a second.
And a second. And we have a proper motion and a second. So all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? None. Motion carries. Item H4.
2025-104, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, endorsing the creation and implementation of a city employee engagement program and providing for an effective date.
Ms. Gloria, you gonna come to the podium or you gonna stay?
Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. When I was hired by your former interim city manager, I was given two main priorities. One, fill vacancies. That was a top priority for obvious reasons, and I believe we've made great strides on that front. But two, to strategize the improvement of employee morale and the overall culture of work for the city of Fort Meade. I am most passionate about the latter mandate. Therefore, I'm pleased to bring before you this evening an engagement strategy tailored to reframe what it means to work in the city of Fort Meade. The framework of this engagement program is built to improve workplace culture for employees. It will improve the communication that the employees receive and encourage each of them to share their voices and their ideas, which ultimately improves innovation. It is more than just a party planning initiative, though events and activities are one component of the program. Through this program, employees will be acknowledged, celebrated, and yes, awarded for the hard work they perform in their jobs and to their commitment to the city of Fort Meade. I won't bore you with an abundance of statistical data, but research is clear. Employees who are not intentionally engaged in their organization actively disengage and become those workers who show up, do the minimum required by their job descriptions, they punch in, they punch out, and they collect their paychecks. They don't feel their contribution matters, or is recognized or appreciated. What the organization then has is a culture of apathy. Now, integrate into that apathetic culture high turnover, organizational unsurety, and insecurity. And what you're left with is chaos. That is the reality that this program is built to change. The expected outcomes of this program include improved morale and job satisfaction, stronger leadership employee relationships, enhanced collaboration and innovation, reduction in turnover and absenteeism, and a positive organizational culture. I want to take a moment to thank the newest addition to the Human Resources Department, Karina Chaitu. Though Ms. Chaitu has been with us for just a month, her contribution to the HR department and thus to the city of Fort Meade is immeasurable. She is vibrant, she is eager, and she has a modern day approach to human resource services. Karina chose human resources as her career, while many stumble into the field by happenstance. She's completing her bachelor's degree in human resources at Polk State College, and she anticipates sitting for the professional human resources certification soon thereafter. Though I had been conceiving of a plan for employee engagement since my first day with the city, other matters quickly shifted my priorities until Karina arrived. I simply shared my vision with her, and she brought my vision to life through this plan. Thank you very much, Karina, and I look forward to the wonderful things that our team will accomplish. Lastly, there's a famous quote that in part says, "If not now, then when? If not us, then who?" I suggest that the time is now. That city employees hunger for an environment in which they feel appreciated, recognized, and included in the business of the city through collaboration and participation. As to the who, engagement requires buy-in from leaders and managers to be sustainable. You now have an HR team ready, willing, and able to affect change. And with your endorsement of this program, the who is you. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
I gotta tell you, that was powerful.
Yeah.
I like to say something really quick because I know that, time's of the essence. But as a manager, you're responsible for like managing employees. Okay, but nothing speaks louder than when the city commission is involved with our employees. You have no clue on how much power and influence you have on the young person coming through the ranks. They see you guys as like rock stars. And I remember my first job. I was city manager. The mayor's office was right next to mine. I was like, I can't believe I'm on the same floor with this guy. So I know that if I was a city manager thinking like that, can you imagine what Ms. Chaitu was thinking? I mean, she's like, what am I doing? What am I doing here? So And maybe you do have a clue on how important what you guys do is, because everything that we do here is centered around policies that you adopt. Period.
Yeah.
You know, our job is to carry them out, implement them. But, you know, I shared a story at staff meeting today about when I was recognized by the sheriff of the county. I was a code enforcement officer. Well, they wanted the 3 code enforcement officers to get an award from the sheriff. So I dressed up in a 3-piece suit. I took off my uniform and wore a 3-piece navy blue suit. I look crazy, you know. But I was just happy to get an award. You know, I'd never been that close to anybody that was department head or higher. And so, you know, trust me, this is something that you got to get involved in.
Yes.
Because the proclamation signed by the mayor is huge. You know, just being from the council, being that it's coming from you, it's big.
Yes.
And next week, I'm going to bring you guys some proclamations that I got as an employee, and how I've always had those things on my wall for the last 30 years. And I think that, you know, you guys are going to make an impact tonight based on what you do tonight. So,
Awesome. Would love to hear from you, at least for everyone to hear your voice. Would you
Yes,
mind
try
saying
to.
hello? This is Tracy.
Hi everyone.
Come to the microphone, please.
We always put her on the spot.
Hi everyone. Thank you. I came unprepared to speak tonight, but I'm very excited to work with Miss Gloria and to work for the city of Fort Meade. I do have a lot of new ideas, and HR is my passion, and I hope to continue my career in human resources. And like Mr. Brown said, it is very cool to be in a building working with the city manager and the commissioners and the mayor as well, and for the citizens of Fort Meade.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being.
Well, I want to say I was thoroughly impressed, Miss Gloria. Not that I ever doubted your ability, but thank you so much for coming and choosing Fort Meade. I appreciate that, and I expressed that to Miss Chai too, as well. We got to get her out of here a little bit early because she drives to the northeast corridor of Polk County.
Yeah.
And when she told me where she resided, I was floored. I could not believe it. And it made me excited that she chose us.
She chose us.
And so when I see that, I hear that, it makes me want to go above and beyond to ensure that your time here is enjoyable, that you're learning, that you're growing, and that you're adding to the team, and that we're making this work environment a more positive environment, something you look forward to doing every day and not dread. And so, because honey, I've been there. So I thank you, and I thank you, Miss Gloria, and I thank everyone, all the staff. I'll save my comments for later, but I'm excited about the program.
Thank you,
I'm
Commissioner.
excited. That's all I got, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm ready for it.
All right. Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve resolution R2025-104, the employee engagement program.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a motion and a second to approve resolution R 2025-104. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? None. Motion carries.
Thank you, commissioners. And if you don't mind, I'll have Karina excuse herself so she can get to Poinciana.
Yes. Safe travels.
Safe travel.
Bye.
All right, moving on to our resolution R 2025-105.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, adopting a citywide take-home vehicle policy, providing for conflict, severability, and providing for an effective date.
And that is Mr. Brown.
yeah, I thought Gloria was going to handle this one. So what it is, you currently don't have a city policy on take-home vehicles, but we do have them. And it's very common in municipal government to have people who respond to emergencies or have the job duties of rapid response. Okay, so we have several departments. So what happened is I tasked Gloria, our superstar back there in the back, to look at what our policy should be because we didn't have one. Well, we contacted our insurance company. It's an eye opener. Okay, the insurance company gave us guidance. Their general counsel wrote an opinion. I guess they give it to most of their sister cities or cities in their pool and said that, hey, you can do this, but we might not pay if you're involved in an accident between the commute times from their house to City Hall unless they are on call or responding to an emergency. So, but we also discovered through our research that taxes, how we tax these kinds of things weren't being done properly. So we halted that. So when I say halted that, when a person or an employee has a take-home vehicle privilege, it's a privilege. Okay, it can be revoked at any time. And so what this policy does, it kind of outlines a couple of things: the use of that vehicle, and also how we tax it. If it's a police car or cruiser, that's not taxed, okay, because that's emergency response and it's mission critical. If it's like a department director's vehicle, they'll respond to an emergency, but it doesn't have, bucket truck or it's a utility vehicle, that's going to be taxed, okay. And we've already required a couple of our employees to park those vehicles because, in my opinion, they did not fall within the emergency response category. And so we've already done that without this policy. So we're asking tonight that you approve this policy so that staff, we're able to police this and ensure that, we have a written policy on how we, allow take-home vehicles. And so it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I don't think there's any things, but what it does, it also looks at what can happen in the future. Okay, so it's not just right now. It's for the future. And in the next couple of meetings, you're going to have me recommend some things that I think that you need to do now. Okay, and this is just one of them. Policy on the use of take-home vehicles that they are used. They must be primarily to be used to enable rapid response to emergencies, number one, and that they're used exclusively for emergency readiness. But they may be exempt from taxation under these IRS regulations. And so we've looked at that, and we've had Brianna, our financial consultant, look at this. She's reviewed this publication. She's told us exactly what the formula is for calculating what that amount is. It's not earned income, but it shows up in a box that in a year you have to pay taxes on it based on their personal income tax bracket. Okay.
When you say tax, you're referring to the employee paying the tax?
The employee, right? So if an employee has a take-home vehicle, right? If an employee has a take-home vehicle, if it's for emergency response like a police car, a fire truck, then they don't have to pay taxes on it.
Gotcha.
Okay. Or if it's a vehicle that has, I think the regulation or the policy said permanently attached equipment.
Yes.
They use those words.
Yes.
And when you look in the AI or Google, it shows you a picture of a bucket truck. So it's very specific about what that is. It's not, a F-150. It is something else attached to it, And so, but there's rules on it. And so there's also how far you can live away to have a take-home vehicle. Okay, it's in here. So we won't let someone live in, Daytona and drive in and out every day and we pay for it. Okay, it's 50 miles. There's also insurance requirements. So there is a special provision that the employee, if they have a take-home vehicle, unless it's emergency response, they have to get an endorsement on their personal insurance called a
non-owned auto endorsement.
A non-owned auto endorsement. This is because our insurance company's already said that they may not pay a claim if they're involved in an accident coming to and from work. Okay, but if they're responding to an emergency or on call, then we are going to cover them.
Right.
Okay. The IRS tax reporting. This is necessary. What we found, we had a couple employees paying, we had some employees who weren't. We are requiring that the vehicle that's been assigned to the employee, they got to maintain it. They have to clean it out, keep it washed. They have to have inspections done. Because what we know is that when employees take home vehicles, they normally take care of that vehicle. That vehicle has a longer life and is used properly. And so this just puts all that into policy. Also, if they damage that vehicle. So you might see some vehicles that have these bruises and bumps on them, and they don't get reported. A year later, you're like, man, this thing looks pretty bad. But we require routine inspections of these vehicles to make sure that these things are reported. There are also problems if we find abuse or a problem, if it's misuse of a take-home vehicle. So we'll revoke their privileges, and they could be subject to disciplinary action depending on what happened. The city manager reserves the right to revoke the take-home vehicle assignment at any time. So it's not a gimme. It's based on if there is a business reason to use this vehicle on take-home basis. There's also a provision in here about take-home vehicle privileges that may be revoked by the commission. So you guys, we come under a budgetary issue, like something we go through every year when we start looking at what we're going to cut. This happens, okay? This is what you do. This is policy you set. And if you decide at a later time that you don't want to do this anymore, you can pull the plug on it, okay? Yeah. So also, this is another thing that we need to have happen, because what I found out, and I think Gloria can attest to this, we did not know who had a take-home vehicle. Okay. We were people that we were finding out had take-home vehicles, and it wasn't emergency response. It wasn't any of that. So department heads have to maintain a current list of those employees of the take-home vehicles. They have to include justification, their residency requirements, with a copy to the deputy clerk. That's not the department head. That's okay. That's someone else in a different department. So it's a requirement that department heads must report that person, who they are, vehicle they have, distance. All these employees must sign this take-home vehicle agreement that they're going to abide by these rules. And what I like about this is that it's not a secret who has these vehicles. Okay, it's not awarded behind the scenes. Okay, it's a policy for it, and it's for business reasons, not for pleasure. And so this resolution puts together a policy that we can adopt for citywide use of take-home vehicles, and it could be subject to change, but that's the general gist of this policy.
I do have a question. In the event that an employee does not have authorization to take a vehicle home, for any reason they have to come and get a vehicle and go out somewhere outside of working hours, do all employees have access to the gates there to get a vehicle, or is it, how does that work?
Most likely they have, if they're, I would say yes.
Okay.
I would say yes. And if I work in water and sewer and I want to go check out a vehicle, I should be able to go over there and check it out. I'm going to click my department director or their supervisor, and they'll go over there and check the vehicle out. Does that answer the question?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it does. We'll have clear line processes in place finally that will allow for that level of flexibility while also protecting the city against any liability.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good policy.
Oh, yes, it is.
It's a good policy because it's going to stop something that could happen. When you review your insurance carrier's provisions and it says they may or may not cover us. No, it says may not cover us. It's almost like, well, it's insurance.
Proceed
And,
at your own risk.
Unless the city commission wants to say, you know what, we'll absorb that. And I don't think you should, because they cover us for emergency stuff.
Yeah.
We're covered. But if it's non-emergency, they do not cover us. So.
All right.
Okay.
Any discussion from the public? Come on.
All right. With the take home vehicle, is this going to be exigent or is this going to be all the time? Would it be storm season, the line crew? Because there's a city ordinance on commercial vehicles being parked in residential neighborhoods.
Correct.
Ask me how I know.
Because they come after you for it.
Exactly. Guess what I brought back to the table?
That they were taking their own vehicles and sitting them in residential.
Any vehicle that has an address on the side of it, a logo, any of that is considered a commercial vehicle. The city employees, they do a great job. City Parks is doing a hell of a job. But with the liability and also the city ordinance, you'll have to adapt and allow commercial vehicles to be parked in residential neighborhoods.
If the city is parking commercial vehicles in residential.
All city employees that drive a commercial vehicle is for hire. That makes it a commercial vehicle when it has the city logo on it. I won that one in 2008.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. So I understand what he's saying. I think I understand.
I do too. I mean, it came up before.
Okay.
Yes.
So I don't know what our policy is right now on what we do here, but I'm sure Mr. Nelson knows. But these vehicles, as I understand it, they're going to be going. None of these folks live in the community except for one employee, is what I understand.
Right.
But they live in other communities now. If they're in other communities, they have to abide by their regulations. Okay, so they're not exempt from being, under Polk County's jurisdiction or Mulberry or whatever city they live in. But here, I'd have to look at that. I would say that, it depends on what the vehicle is. If it's in our city limits, if it's a city vehicle, then it's exempt. It had to be exempt, right? We do work around. We work around here. We'll have to make it exempt, and so that's why we need to review the policy and then move forward with the amendment.
All right. If no further discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
All right. Mr. Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 2025-105, implementing the take-home vehicle policy.
Second.
We have a motion and a proper second to approve resolution R 2025-105. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? None. Motion carries. Moving on to resolution H06.
Resolution number 2025-105, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, adopting this. Scratch that. I apologize. I read the wrong one. Resolution number 2025-106, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, authorizing the city manager to consolidate the city's electronic funds transfer EFT account into the city's operating account, directing the implementation of positive pay or equivalent bank fraud controls for both ACH/EFT and check disbursements, providing for a transition period to clear outstanding transactions, providing for related administrative actions, providing for conflict, severability, and an effective date.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the commission, what this does, it allows for us to do some consolidation of accounts. And it was recommended by our financial consultant that we do that in order to keep better tracking, a side-by-side comparison on how we reconcile those accounts. And if you want to add, let's go ahead and have Jennifer add some of the other figures.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Right now, the city has a total of 8 bank accounts that we reconcile each month. 2 of those accounts are our main ones, the operating account and the EFT account. The EFT account was originally set up by previous staff as a precaution. Over time, it's become more of an extra step than a benefit. Having both accounts means we're constantly transferring money back and forth, which adds more work for finance and creates more room for small variances. By consolidating everything into the operating account, all accounts payable transactions will come from one place. We won't be doing the back and forth. We have to also do journal entries whenever we do the back and forth. This will streamline our process, reduce reconciliation time, and give us full positive pay coverage on every transaction, meaning we pay with Citizens Bank to have positive pay. Whenever we have a paper check, a vendor goes to cash it. Same with the electronic payments and EFT. The bank utilizes the positive pay. They send us an email. We have to approve that transaction. So if there's any suspicious activity, the positive pay is in place to help us stop that. There's no budget impact. It's just a procedural change to make our operations more efficient. We'll leave the EFT account open for 30 days to clear any outstanding items before closing it completely.
Are these accounts within the same financial institution?
Yes, they're both with Citizens.
Okay. Any further discussion?
I have none.
Any discussion? No. If not, I entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve resolution R 2025-106.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution R 2025-106. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? None. Motion carries. And we are moving to public hearings.
Number 7.
Where's seven?
We added an item.
Oh, thank you.
I didn't write it down. My bad.
Okay. And item H7.
Resolution number R 2025-107, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, authorizing the mayor to execute a lease agreement with the Boys and Girls Club of Polk County for the community center located at 103rd Street Southwest, Fort Meade, Florida, providing for terms and conditions, providing for administration, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Mr.
No, go right ahead, sir.
I just want to reiterate what we voiced earlier. I was unable to look at the document and what we talked about how we can possibly remedy it. I would like more time to look at the lease agreement.
It's already expired, so it's not like we're in a hurry. If you guys want to table it until a date certain, gives you enough time to look at it. So that's not a problem whatsoever.
So just to clarify, if you table it, it won't be for a date certain. If you postpone it, it will be for a date certain. We can do that for the October 28th meeting.
Okay.
All right. What is the will of the commission?
Great, Mr. Mayor. So I would like to make a motion that we postpone resolution. Sorry.
107.
Yeah, 107.
107. Resolution number 2025-107.
We have a motion on the table. Do we have a second?
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to, did you say postpone to the 28th?
Yes, sorry, I excused that. Postpone to October 28th.
All right. To postpone resolution R 2025-107 to October 28th meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign? None. Motion carries. Item I-01 for public hearings.
Resolution 2025-94, a resolution of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, approving a preliminary subdivision plat titled The Meadows, comprising of 3 parcels of land located in Section 23, Township 31, South Range 25 East within the City of Fort Meade, Polk County, Florida, containing 23.05 acres of land, more or less generally located north of 9th Street Northeast and north of the intersections of Polk Avenue North and 9th Street Northeast and Church Avenue North and 9th Street Northeast.
Hey, Brenda.
Good evening, Commission. For the record, Brenda Torres with the Central Florida Regional Planning Council. And we do have some large handouts for you that the applicant's going to pass out just for you to.
Is it all the same thing?
It is just in a larger format.
Okay, you can share the site plan and then an exhibit. Okay, you can share.
I think we can share.
Okay. You can Start on slide 3.
Current slide.
Yeah. All right, so we have the applicant JE Investments of Polk requesting for a preliminary subdivision plat. The request is to subdivide the property into 63 residential lots to facilitate the future development of 63 single-family homes. The subject property is located north of 9th Street Northeast and north of the intersections of Polk Avenue North and 9th Street Northeast and Church Avenue and 9th Street Northeast in Fort Meade, with a size of 23.05 acres. We have provided you here an aerial photo map of the subject property, highlighted in yellow. The future land use is City of Fort Meade single family residential, which allows for 4.5 units per acre. Next slide. Next slide. The zoning of the property is single family residential R1B, which allows for a maximum density of 4 units per acre at 10,000 square foot minimum lot sizes, minimum lot width of 80 feet, minimum floor area of 1,000 square feet, and then setbacks of 25 in the front, 25 in the rear, and 10 on the sides, with a maximum lot coverage of 45%. We have provided you with the preliminary site plan, and it does meet the R1B zoning requirements. We did create a we stated the findings from the subdivision plat evaluation, and they are that, again, the property is 23.05 acres. The future land use of the property is single family residential, and the zoning is R1B single family residential, which permits the development of single family residential dwellings. The subdivision proposes 63 single family residential lots that result in a density of 2.68 dwelling units per gross acre, which is consistent with the residential low future land use. All 63 lots of the proposed subdivision will be served by city central water and sewer systems, of which capacity exists to serve future development. The proposed development will be conducted in 2 phases. Phase 1 will include 6 lots, and Phase 2 will include 57. A stormwater management plan has been provided by the applicant, and this project is designed to comply with Polk County and Southwest Florida Management District standards. This project will be constructed with stormwater conveyance systems designed to accommodate the entire proposed development, which will discharge into one on-site retention pond. Permitting will be coordinated with SwiftMud. A detailed traffic study was provided to you in your staff report. This was conducted for 93 lots, which was the initial intent of the project, but was reduced later because of P&Z recommendation. However, additional traffic review will be required at the time of construction and an improvement plan review to identify any required roadway improvements, and this will be coordinated with the city and Polk County. There are platted right-of-ways that are located within the boundary of the project, and these will need to be vacated prior to final subdivision plat to prevent right-of-ways with no connections. The applicant and the adjacent property owners will complete the right-of-way vacation process. All infrastructure improvements will be reviewed during the construction phase following preliminary plat approval. All improvements will need to be completed prior to final plat review and approval. The applicant has provided a letter of concurrency from Polk County School District to ensure that adequate school capacity exists to serve any students generated from the development. The preliminary subdivision plat has been reviewed and found to be in compliance with the requirements of Chapter 171 of Florida statutes and the regulations of the City of Fort Meade Land Development Code. We have provided conditions of approval, and those are That again, the traffic review will be required in coordination with City of Fort Meade Public Works Department and Polk County. That the right-of-way will be vacated prior to final subdivision plat. That all infrastructure improvements would be reviewed and that they must be completed prior to final plat review and approval. And then the following are 3 conditions provided by Fire, who have also reviewed the preliminary plat. And that is that the development shall include a double loop water system tying back into the main. Dead end hydrants shall not be permitted. Construction plans shall not be shall be revised accordingly and approved by the fire department prior to construction plan approval. A hydrant plan showing the location and spacing of all fire hydrants shall be submitted with the construction drawings. Placement and number of hydrants shall be subject to review and approval by the fire department. All fire hydrants shall be installed, pressure tested, and accepted by the fire department prior to issuance of certificate of occupancy. Ongoing hydrant maintenance shall comply with NFPA standards and applicable local fire code requirements. The Planning and Zoning Board did meet. They actually met on October 7th first, and given them not being exposed to flag lots in the city of Fort Meade, and also because the code did not specifically identify flag lots, they wanted to, 1, get more information from the applicant, and 2, do their research on flag lots. Our code does not address them. That doesn't mean that you can allow them, and it also doesn't mean you can deny them. It's something that you as a commission can decide on the type of developments you want to see in your city. But however, after postponing it for a week, they did meet on October 13th, and the Planning and Zoning Board met and reviewed the preliminary subdivision plat request and moved that the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend approval of Resolution 2024-904 to the City Commission for continuous flag lots with a shared driveway, excluding lots 1, 17, 34, 45, 52, and 63, with the condition that all driveways must be constructed of asphalt or concrete and that single lots shall have their own individual driveway. Additionally, a landscape buffer shall be required behind the quarter-acre lots located on the flag lots.
I do.
And at this time, I can answer any questions. The applicant's also here. Part of the information that he provided was those additional photos of the developments he's done before. That's something that the P&Z had requested from the applicant. And at this time, I entertain any questions.
I was looking through the photos to see if you provided an example of what a flag lot looked like.
You did.
Yeah, they're there.
Right here.
I think there's a couple of
I
examples.
see. And were you amenable to the driveway requests? The what was it, concrete?
Asphalt or
Asphalt.
concrete and shared for the flag lots, the continuous flag lots.
And with that, P&Z gave their
Correct. We kind of dissected everything, and that's the motion and recommendation that they came forward with.
That larger exhibit you have that shows the individual lots, shows the shared driveway as well as the landscape buffer.
Well, it's hard to read these things. But I see the picture though.
Now, when you guys build the subdivision, is there any particular? I know you said there's going to be is it a retention pond?
Correct. First, yeah.
Yeah.
Come up and state your name.
Are there going to be any specific drainage that you all will utilize that will ensure residents will not succumb to flooding?
Yeah, so this subdivision, like every other subdivision, will be designed according with the standards set forth by the city, Polk County, and Swiftmud. One of the unique ways we address the flag lot specifically is that we make the fronts A lots and the back C lots. And for those who don't know, A lots mean they drain from back to front, C lots mean they drain from front to back, and so you create essentially a ridge between down that lot line, and it makes sure that there are no adverse flooding impacts to any of those residents. We've done that on numerous, and it's been very successful.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
And for the record, Chad Brooker Traditions Engineering, 900 Orchid Springs Drive, Winter Haven. Somebody was going to ask me at some point.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Could you identify, and I'm looking at this picture here, is this the
Yeah,
part
so
that is
these-
being utilized to separate?
Correct. Yeah, these are the two front lots, and then this is this driveway that goes back to the rear of the flag. I think there's a better picture.
Right here. But you were talking about the different shrubs to
Correct.
right there. Is that considered those
No,
trees?
what it is, because one of the things that we have run into is the desire for a visual buffer between the front of the flags and the rear of the fronts. And so what we've done is we have a condition of the approval that
That's what it. Okay.
this by the developer will be planted on that time that it's all is developed, not by the homeowner, but by the developer. That way you can ensure it gets put in.
Okay.
It's built on the front of the flags so that they have the ownership and maintenance requirements for that, and it just provides that buffer
Gotcha.
that sometimes you might have.
Would you show the audience what we're talking about?
Conditions of the approval are shared driveways for the flags. This kind of shows what we're talking about here. So you don't have two driveways here, you'll have the one. And then it splits on the individual lots. And then the landscape buffer we're talking about in addition to provide a visual buffer between the front and backs is this one here. This gets put in by the developer and is on the property of the flag lot to be owned and maintained by them. So it provides that visual buffer from the front and back of two different houses.
Thank you.
And I also wanted to add, previously when the future land use and the zoning came forward, we did have a property owner to the north asking about how he would have access to his property. And I just wanted to make note that the applicant has provided right away to his property on the north side and has identified as public right away. And he would just come onto the public road.
Thank you. This is Michelle.
Commissioner?
Okay.
Yes. Good evening, commissioners and mayor. Sorry to meet like this. I'm Evelyn. I'm the new water and sewer director, and I'm just catching up with all of these projects, and I have concerns about the capacities of our infrastructure. So I need a chance to review what capacity we're asking for these homes, and I also need to make you aware of what capacity I'm already seeing in my preliminary numbers of just getting here on 10-1. I'm showing that our permit with SwiftMud, we are at 82% capacity already. And we are a million gallon a day capacity on the wastewater plant. And I'm showing that we are already at 50% capacity, if not more, just in preliminary calculations. That means that we, by FAC, should be planning for a new wastewater plant. We need to start watching these developments. I do not want to stunt the development growth here. I want to see the growth, but we also need to make sure that our infrastructure is ready for this growth. So I'd ask you to please give me the chance to look through this. Please come down and talk to me. Let's look it out all together and make sure that we're ready for this amount of growth.
So, one question, Mr. Mayor. Was this not, I know the P&Z board has met twice about this. Was there no conversation?
There was, I think, let me just try it. So this project started well before our tenure here. And so I believe that the former water and sewer director gave commentary. I'm not sure.
He did.
I just heard, okay.
And he confirmed that we could support it.
Okay.
That's what he stated on record.
Right. We've actually had pre-application meetings on other developments, and there has been.
So you see what you're hearing now. So what you're hearing is a couple of things. Two different versions of what has already been stated Okay, what I was informed a couple of weeks ago was that we did not know what our capacity in that water plant was. The sewer plant, I think, is the plant that she informed me about. And so, any approval you guys do tonight has to be subject to this. You can approve it, but it's going to be subject to whatever we come out with this particular thing. And so if it's okay for you to approve a project, but it's got to be subject to being able to comply with all these other things, because we simply can't allow a developer to come in and then we have to foot paying for a water plant or whatever. Okay, and so most communities, they deal with this. Developers reserve capacity in your water and sewer plant. These are the things that's done all over the state to ensure that you have capacity. Because right now, if you approve this development, they eat our capacity up. That means any new development would not be able to do anything. We'd have to either pay for it our own or make the developer. And normally the developer, they bear those costs. So they have to improve our system in order to do things. And so this is another wicked problem. We want development, but we don't want it on the backs of our property owners or taxpayers. And so we're at capacity, or we might be at capacity, but this is what I'm hearing. And so you can
it sounds like three things. We're at capacity, we might be at capacity, but we weren't at
correct
capacity. Okay.
We need our decision to be guided on data and facts, guys. And I'm not saying that someone erred or someone misstated anything, because you can only act on what you have at the time.
Correct.
And so
Correct. Okay. All right. Public hearing.
Can I speak to that?
Public hearing.
Yes, go ahead.
A couple things just to clarify. One, I think I heard it was 50% capacity for. Well, one, this has been a long process, right? We presented the 93 lot PUD, I think 5-ish months ago. Went through the ringer on that, came back with something that conforms to the zoning standards, much less density. This actually is about half the density of what the current zoning allows. So we're trying to work and put something together that will be a benefit for the city. Back then, obviously, we did get the capacity with the previous director that confirmed that. I think it sounds like we still do have the capacity. It sounds like we have 80% of the water and 50% of the sewer. Those numbers, realize those numbers are measured in millions of gallons per day. If we're at 80% of the water at millions of gallons per day, that's still available 200,000 gallons plus or minus, right? This is 63 lots for sewer or for water. That's just over 20,000 gallons per day for water. So while it does eat up some of that capacity, it's a small percentage, 10% of what's left. Lastly, I would say that the way to get some of that issue fixed, to expand those, to improve those utilities, is by putting heads in beds, right? Taxpayer dollars pay for the improvements. Here's 63 taxpayer dollars right here that we're trying to do. I know we're talking about reserving and potential for future. We're here now. We're ready to go. And so I just want to speak to that.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, we'll open this up to the public.
My research on, I was at the meeting last night. My research on the flag lots is they're generally done on more acreage, 2.5 minimum or 5-acre tracts. He just said 63 homes. We got a data system that we're looking at bringing in here that's going to eat up a lot of water. A lot of water. 63 in one community. What does that do for the other streets that have vacant lots on it to potentially build on? If we adapt a process to allow flag lots in our city, we are going to set a precedent and a past practice. We don't have that language for a reason. I promise you. We don't have it for a reason.
And it could be, I'll reserve that comment. Anyone else? City Attorney.
Shayla Riley, 425 South French Avenue here in Fort Meade. I've attended several P&Z meetings since the
first when it was proposed of 119 homes. I stood to the podium and asked for a reduction of the homes, which they came back with a reduction. I spoke to the former, who was it? Whatever his name was, the water guy, Tommy. He assured that we were able to hold the capacity that was needed for these homes. And I was at 119 at that time. So my confusion and my disappointment is where we now coming up. As Mr. Williams stated, we proposed 3 different things. We had enough, now we don't, and we don't know. And as the gentleman stated, he's come several times and brought this plan to P&Z, and now we're here at the commission. Are we really looking for growth? Because I don't know where he is in his thought process or their company's thought process. And I understand the city's, where we stand in regards to actually being able to afford or not afford, but the capacity of the water situation. But I feel as if we don't have definite answers or any type of, idea whatsoever, we're going to lose a potential development. So I think that's something that we all really need to think about, and we also need to speak factual. So the whole Tommy, I literally had a conversation with him. So I'm not blowing smoke. I literally had a conversation, and it was stated that at the time, 119 homes was not an issue. Thank you.
My concern with the project, Fred Hilliard, 202 North Hendry Avenue. My concern with the project, and I talked to Tommy about this when the project came up, and my concern was the capacity of the sewer system. Has there been a downstream analysis to know that what they generate can be transferred to the wastewater plant without affecting the lines all the way there? I also, when I talked to Tommy said they were also considering a septic system rather than a sanitary sewer. We need to make sure that this developer provides a downstream analysis of the water and the sewer. Okay? And you also need to make sure you have the capacities. Those capacities are getting close. And with the regional water system, that's going to put, if you get close to it, you're going to put a moratorium on the city for development. That's what my concerns.
Anyone else care to speak on the project? On this item? Come on up, Mr. Hank. Okay, go ahead.
Ramel Ford, 505 Murder Street. I keep hearing everyone talk about for development. What are we developing? We haven't started developing anything. And so the one opportunity that we do have as a city, after doing much research, to start development, to get homes or somebody on the tax roll to help us with our infrastructure issues, you want to push the ball further down the court. We're trying to get development going so that we can make the necessary upgrades. If there's nobody here developing the city, how can we make the necessary upgrades that we need if we have nobody invested? So take those things into consideration when you make these asks or you make these statements about what we cannot afford to hold or the capacity. We don't have any development going on as it is. And the one opportunity that we do have with a less amount of homes than was originally stated, we can't do that. But we want to see our city grow and improve. How does that happen if no one comes in to create development to improve? Just take that into consideration.
Thank you.
Mr. Hancock?
broke my hip a few months ago.
Uh-oh.
This engineering firm and developer, Allen Hancock, formerly Fort Meade resident, 16 years on the zoning board.
Yep.
But I've been 119 Pinot Poco, 2 words, Winter Haven, Florida, Orchid Springs. But I've looked around for other developers when I was thinking about selling this piece of property. And I found these guys, which is Southern Homes, and looked around the Winter Haven area, which there's millions of new homes being built in Haines City, Davenport, all that area. And these guys had a lot of those homes built. And you're not talking about a cracker box out there. You're talking about a nice home and division. And like these folks have said, we've had prior sewer water people talking that we can handle this kind of a project. And with just the number of 63 homes, we're kicking ourselves into behind, I think, if we're not doing something earlier. But if you don't vote for this, I mean, where are we going? Like he said, do you want to make Fort Meade grow and build the tax roll with new tax people coming up? Or do you just want to sit back and wonder if we can do something like this? And to me, to see Fort Meade grow and give new opportunity for people that can afford these homes are going to be, like he said, 1,500 to 3,000 square foot homes. And there's a lot of young families here in Fort Meade that would like to come here and take a part of that. So I appreciate your vote, and I appreciate, that you guys are really doing a good job here now, I think, and got the city on a forward bounce instead of sitting back and waiting for things to die and bury. So I appreciate everything you guys are doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hancock.
Oh, Lord. I'm ready to go home.
I'm not speaking against the development. I'm speaking, do we have the capacity and the systems in that area to make that flow to the sewer plant and from the water plant to the project? I was talking about downstream capacities. Having been a planner in my previous life, in my previous life, that was one of the things that was always key to development. You want to make sure that you can service them with the systems to make it come into the community without impacting the neighborhoods. Because if there's restricted flow, you can't make it, you'll have to go back in and dig up the sewer line all the way to the sewer plant, possibly. But that's an exaggeration. But you have to make sure you have a system in place that can support the facility. Because if you don't, and you approve it, and they go to connect, and there's issues, the city is going to be responsible for making those improvements to make sure it works. I'm, as a previous planner and economic development director, or city manager, development is critical to the city. But you need to make sure it is wise development and you don't give away the farm and make the community pay for the infrastructure support for the development. That's my question and my concern.
Anyone else? If not, no further discussion.
Yes.
Entertain a motion.
I do want to just
Okay.
continue. Yes, I do have to agree with as a planner for the city. When you do approve development, it does have to reflect if the infrastructure is in place, and that's why we ask for that clarification as to if there is capacity. at this time, it looks like we are unsure of that, or there is, but there might not be for other developments. And as the planner, I know that other things are on my desk ready to move forward. And so we have held pre-application meetings with those developers with the motion that there is capacity. We will be obviously having conversation to make sure that that still exists and still applies. But I think the approval of this would depend on the fact that there is capacity, and that would probably be provided, should be provided in the motion, or how should we?
Well, I think it's one of your conditions.
Okay.
You know, just like you have the fire protection or fire suppression, you just add a condition that states that subject to capacity being in the water sewer plant. And it looks like it's there.
Right.
But we will see.
Yeah, it's just something that either that you could all draft and apply to your decision.
One last thing, especially with the capacity, I know this sounds like there's concern. Again, I just want to reiterate, based on the numbers provided, I don't think there's an issue with the water. It sounds like it's just over half the capacity, but again, that's 500,000 gallons per day. It's really the sewer, I think, that's the sticking point. And if I heard you correctly, I think the number was just over the 80% mark.
Water is at 80% of your permitted capacity. Sewer is at 50% of your permitted capacity based on my preliminary numbers.
Okay.
And that requires the city to start expansion projects.
Okay. So sewer is not the issue for the connection because it has 40-something percent. But water is close. Again, based on the numbers provided, the city's capacity is regulated at 1 million gallons per day. 20% left of that is 200,000 gallons per day. We're going to be about 10% of that capacity. So yes, it may create issues for future developments as we move forward with the city to try and figure out how to get that capacity again. Putting heads in beds is how you get that fixed. But this project specifically does not eat up the capacity. It just eats into the capacity. I just want to make sure that is clear. I was going to say something about septic, but it's not a wastewater issue. Thank you.
Please.
Yes, sir.
Stan Cagle, 25 First Street Northeast. I just have a question. I'm all for development. I'd love to see it happen. But I just wanted to ask, are we going, the data center that's talked about being built requires 40,600 gallons of water a day. Plus, are we going to be responsible for their sewer system? Do you know?
I hope not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, I hope not too, but I'm just asking. That might be a consideration. So, because I was told that that we were going to be responsible for that. But anyway, just trying to throw that into the mix. Thank you.
Yeah, they be up all night. Mr. Mayor.
Go.
What I will say to the topic tonight in regards to the platting of the meadows, the information we were provided from our then director was that this project, we would have the capacity to be able to handle the development. That was the information that we were provided. I understand everyone's concern, but we also recently just got through a sewer and all of that improvement. Someone spoke about the downflow. That took us almost 2 years. So I think we finally got that corrected. So I think we can handle that portion of it as well, because we just got through that project. That went on for about 2 years. Brand new, by the way. And we do know, we were made aware that we were going to need improvements at our water and sewer plants. Not that we would need a whole new overhaul, but that we would need improvements. That was the information we were given. So one of the capital improvement projects, one of the targeted components of the city was our water and sewer plant for this coming budget fiscal year and askings up in Tallahassee. Is it guaranteed we're going to get money? Maybe not. No guarantee, but nothing is. But I do believe that in order for us to get ready for anticipated growth, we understand where we are. And so we have strategized to put things in place to get us to where we need to be. And I think this is a great starting point. So that's my piece on it. I want to see the development come. I think it is very necessary because we have heard all this budget season how overtaxed the citizens are. And so if this is one way, one component to help alleviate some of that tax burden, I feel like it's a good direction for us to go in. In regards to the data center, if the data center is coming, we hope that they do. We hope that the data center will bring the necessary revenue that we will need to accommodate them to reinforce our water and our sewer plan. So that's one of the components in how we get there. So I think that we shouldn't hit the panic button. I think we're okay. Nobody's going to drown. Sewer isn't going to backflow because this subdivision comes to town, or if the vote passes. So we definitely don't want to set a precedent that we don't want people to come here. So we want people to come here to aid us in the growth and the development that we all desire. So that's all I have on the topic, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. I yield.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to make a motion to approve resolution 2025-94.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve the resolution. All in favor signify by
With the condition that PNC recommended.
Okay.
Are those conditions not stated in the recommendation?
No, because they met yesterday, so it's in your last slide.
You have it.
She's saying provided there is capacity.
That ain't it.
No, the one about the flag, about the shared. Yeah, because they provided approval of resolution 2024-4.
Motion to amend.
Yeah, just that one.
Just amend your motion.
Yeah, that.
Oh, that's.
Can you see it, Commissioner?
It's,
If we don't have it, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Amended.
Okay.
So Trina's gonna have to do it. Who made the motion?
He did.
He did.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Yes, thank you. So, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to amend the motion. Do we need to take a vote on that? Or just restate?
You can just restate it.
Okay, I'd like to amend the previous motion and make a motion to pass resolution 2024-94. 2024-94? 2025-94 to the City Commission for contiguous flag lots with the shared driveway excluding lots 1, 17, 34, 45, 52, and 63 with the condition that all driveways be constructed of asphalt or concrete and that single lots shall have their own individual driveway. Additionally, a landscape buffer shall be required behind the quarter-acre lots located on flag lots.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to amend the previous motion with said verbiage. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed like sign? None. Motion carries.
All right. Welcome to Fort Meade.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. All right.
And we're moving on to item L.
May I say thank you, guys?
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You'll be surprised by the nice people that
Thank
All
you,
right.
sir.
Thank you.
Moving on to item L, new business 01, FDOT, lighting maintenance and compensation agreement, updated.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is nothing more than just adopting the same yearly contract with DOT so we can get the lights repaired.
Awesome. Thank you. I don't have anything.
Any questions? Concerns? Any comments from the public on this item? If none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the FDOT lighting maintenance and compensation agreement.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the lighting agreement. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. None, motion carries. Moving on to the report of the mayor. I do not have anything at this time. Report of the city manager.
I'll defer that until our next meeting.
Okay. Report of the city attorney.
I don't have a specific report, but I do have some comments that I would like to make. And it's just to highlight my role as a city attorney. My work does involve reviewing matters that could have legal implications. Some of those might not be immediately obvious, but being included in discussions that happen regarding those things in a timely manner is going to help ensure that I'm effective in providing guidance to the city. So it's important to have smooth functioning city operations, and I have to be involved in that review process that goes right down to the agendas, agreements that are made, ordinances, resolutions, anything that could possibly have the city in any type of legal implication. So I'm just going to say, for being consistent and making sure that we're collaborative, I'm going to ask that for me to fully perform my duties and to make sure that the city is protected at all times, that I be included in those items at the forefront. I do also want to make a comment about the lien review process, where we will be getting rid of the old or outdated liens. My staff can certainly help with those. I would just like to go ahead and address it on the record. But it was my understanding that it was going to be the city staff that was going to be doing that process and was going to be going forward with it. We don't have a problem with doing that, but I do want to kind of mention what the Florida Bar authorizes as far as people that can work on things that are not legal. So non-attorneys can do things like prepare lien summaries. They can decipher and put a list together and say, here are all the pieces and why we think this should be outdated or not. But whether my staff does it or whether the city staff does it, the final legal review goes through an attorney. So the city isn't going to save any time on attorney review just by giving it necessarily to the staff on the front end, right? So the front end process for staff has to be involved, whether it's my staff or the city staff, but the legal review part of it still has to go through the attorney, and that time is going to be that time. So I want to make sure that we're all clear to go on those issues.
Okay. Any future agenda items of commissioners?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I just like we all received your memo. If this can be added to the next agenda, the regulation of short-term rentals. I'd like to have discussion on if possible. I understand there's some charter things.
State law.
State law, yes. So if we can.
On the 28th? On the 28th?
Yes, on the 28th.
A discussion of short-term rentals?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
I do have a question. Is that going to be for the workshop or for the city commission meeting?
Wherever y'all want to put it.
Do you want to discuss it? Do you just want to discuss it? Because it is complicated, and it's going to require the attorney to give us some advice and guidance on it because of state law changes.
Great. I'd like to have conversation. It doesn't have to be an actionable item, but I would like for us to discuss it.
Okay.
So, how early do we want to start on the 28th?
5 o'clock, about
5.
I'm just, 5:30?
No,
But if we go 5:30, Keisha, we're gonna have to.
I could be here at 3 o'clock, sir. I'm
Okay.
open to time. I've told you that before.
Okay, so what about,
5 p.m.
5 p.m.
with
Yeah,
the
yes, ma'am.
potential to discuss
it's 2 items,
those two workshop items.
the lean amnesty program and the short-term rentals at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. With that said, we got Commissioner Williams. Anything, Commissioner?
I'd like to see at all costs if we can try to get the packages out to the commissioners a little earlier for more time for review.
Yeah.
Okay. Commissioner Shell said he texted me and said his phone died.
Okay.
So that's why he ended up off.
Yeah, what date, what do y'all normally get? That's what I'd like to know. The packets
So-
come to you at what day?
We were working on trying to get it by, was it that Wednesday?
So-
About Wednesday, midweek or sometime.
Yeah, I was gonna say when I first got here, we've had this conversation also too, Mr. Brown. When I first got here back in October, the commission agenda was being disseminated usually over the weekend, which really wasn't enough time. So it was an expression of mine and other individuals that it needed to be out to them at least a week before because they can't make informed decisions that way. That didn't quite happen for 2 months, and then I kind of was heavily involved in it, and we got it to work, and it was on a good churn and burn. But because of the turnover in staff, we've had a little bit of a delay with that. But, you know, you authorized myself and the deputy clerk to come up with an agenda process. He did do that. Last Friday, he actually called a meeting on it with us so that we could ensure that we get this agenda out to you a week before. So that's what we're trying, that Wednesday or that Thursday before.
I know, Nicole sent the link out, but with the size, there's supporting documentation in it. It just wouldn't come through and work well. I played with it for a day and a half. Got I could get out one section at a time, and there was not time to sit there and go through the whole block.
Yes.
And then I got to the meet. Got my hard package tonight at the meeting. It don't leave a lot of time.
So you're talking about your hard copy?
Yeah.
That's what you're wanting?
And I couldn't hardly get
Okay.
like the
Okay.
the link would have been fine if it had
No,
worked.
I got it. We can do that. Does everybody get a hard copy? Is that what your aim is?
We used to.
Okay. You want it delivered, or how do you tell me what y'all done so we could just make sure we got new people here? So
Correct.
You know.
So, yeah, I mean, the plan is to try and have it in the time that.
Yeah. So if we get it
The Wednesday
disseminated out,
before.
and I think what Ms. Patterson said also is that she would send the link out and then she will follow up. She said that at the beginning of the meeting, she'll follow up with each one of you all and ask you if you're able to read it. And if not, she'll go ahead and get you the hard copy so that you can keep in line with having it that Wednesday before the next Tuesday for the meeting.
Also posted on the website. Wasn't Adobe or a link, it was actually a document, so it was on there too.
But-
I should have gave you direction in that email.
And I
It
didn't
was
think
on
about
the
going to the website. That was all.
Yeah.
But I will
Well,
make sure next
yeah,
time
we
for
don't,
the
we don't,
future.
we don't go to the web.
Mhm.
We have it delivered to
Right,
us,
right.
or
right, you got to
Yeah.
get it the way you get it, and
Correct.
that's what I'm trying to make sure you get it
We'll make
when
sure
you want it.
next time
You know.
Well, originally it was in
I
the
don't have
charter.
no
You're okay with
qualms.
electronic
I don't
hard
have no
paper?
qualms. If it's electronic, if it's hard,
Okay.
as long as I get it. But it was just a little snafu with the link. That's it. That's all it was. It came in plenty enough time.
Okay.
It's just that on our end, we were not able to access it because of the link.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'll make sure next time to give you
These
a call
eyes.
and make sure that it's
these are as good as they used to be.
or give out a packet, deliver a packet to you.
yeah.
Thank you.
And I don't mind picking my packet up. If you say, hey, your packet ready, I'll
Yeah.
swing by here and pick it up. It's not a problem.
Yes, we'll make sure. Yep.
Anything?
No, I don't have anything.
All right.
I don't have anything.
All right. And with that being said, our next, we have a special meeting for October 28th, beginning at 5 p.m. With two focal points in workshop discussion forum. Hopefully we're able to hash things out. And then regular commission meeting will be November 10th.
Because of the holiday, it's November 10th.
November 10th.
That Monday.
Monday. Yes.
Monday, November 10th.
Yes.
Okay, starting at 6 p.m. If all hearts and minds are clear, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Hold on a second. We're still in meeting. All right, and with that being said, you done took me off the game. All in favor, signify by saying aye. And the ayes have it. Consider yourself dismissed.